That's definitely how the Umineko theme song goes. I'm back. Uh, Welcome back, I guess. It's been a day. I did not stream yesterday. I did not feel very good. So, yeah, I mean, I had a nice day today. I took a post-work nap, which felt nice, and I had some pizza. So that's where I'm at. I don't have work tomorrow. I'm chilling. I'll be drinking coffee all day tomorrow. My fajitas are sizzling. Metaphorically speaking, my metaphorical fajitas are sizzling. I did want to kind of talk about like a theory I had. I was kind of starting to parse through some more chapter 3 shit because I'm not over it yet. I'm a little obsessed. And I'm starting to wonder if I might have been wrong about the whole idea that the message written on the door at the end of episode 3 of the like 17191129, I think that was it. I'm starting to wonder if that wasn't Ava who did that, that maybe that was Kyrie. I'm starting to wonder if it's possible that maybe, kind of in line with that whole envy thing, I'm wondering if Kyrie killed George, like, out of revenge. That would be so fucking cool if she did. Absolutely insane, but it would be so fucking cool. Because that whole, like, dialogue about it with her and Leviathan, about like envy and like the whole thing about her like having a miscarriage and like I don't know. I think it's I think she might have like have been dying and then just like decided she was gonna like kill George. And like this crazy retaliatory fuck you to Ava. Because the one thing I was really having a problem with, I guess, is trying to be like, why would Ava have killed her husband and her son? So I guess maybe it made me wonder, maybe things didn't go to plan. So I guess that's where I am currently at for another Umineko crackhead theory. Kyrie killed George. And then I think she might have left that note on the door as some sort of message to Battler, like in her death knell, to like be like, fuck, watch out. I don't know what the 1129 part could mean, but that's my only thought. Apparently the new Crusader Kings 3 DLC's out and it's not very good. I don't know, I saw one person talk about it. They said there wasn't just a lot of things to do. And with EU5 coming out, I think next week. Here, when's EU5? I have to do at least one EU5 stream to remind myself that I actually secretly am primarily a Paradox game streamer. I'm just like pretending to be a visual novel guy for a hot moment. When does Europa Universalis 5 come out? November 4th. That is next Tuesday. Who releases a game on a Tuesday? Okay, whatever. So I guess next Tuesday we'll be doing some of that. Take my Starbound roleplay lurk. Starbound? That's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time. I remember when Starbound was in beta. I played it like I played through all the content of like the Starbound like early access beta back in, I don't remember, like 2016, 2017. And then they got into that huge child labor debacle, and like are Starbound roleplay servers actually a thing? Yeah, the Starbound devs, Chucklefish. If we're talking about a different game called Starbound, if we're not referring to like the Terraria clone that came out, I already own the game. It's neither here nor there. Yeah, so they got into like a whole child labor debacle with Starbound to try to get it finished. They weren't crediting their child developers with their work. It was like a whole fiasco. Like a lot of devs don't really work with them anymore because of it. And they were actually like a really promising indie publisher for a hot second there too. Hi Sid. All right, I'm jumping into it. I wasn't all that. I mean, I didn't really. I don't know. Starbound isn't really my genre of game. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. Okay. Well, guess I just accidentally started a new episode 4. So, yep. Okay. Get it. I've made an oopsie. Hurry up. Hurry up. I know I made an oopsie. Oh my gosh. I'm so miffed. Yep, I know. It's October 4th, 1986. I can't believe I had to keep going through this because I clicked the wrong button. This is so bad. Get me out. I want out. Oh, I really like this track though. Thank you, Hideyoshi. Bye, Hideyoshi. I'll see you in a minute. Title back. Start. Load. Alliance of the Golden Witch. With her knapsack on her back, and half of Sakutaro's face peeking out of it, she triumphantly walked through the shopping district late at night. Well, it was that time of day after all. Everyone in the shopping district was either a shop owner lowering the shutters of their shops, or an employee rushing or else staggering on their way home. Amidst all that, Maria, who was in a good... Oh, Maria has like this cute bunny jacket. That's... Why do they dress her up like the normal outfit with the stupid crown when this is like much better, much more normal? Okay, he was in a good mood, like someone on a hike, probably looked quite merry. Every once in a while, passing employees would glance at her back with the eyes of someone seeing something out of place. Office ladies giggled at the cute stuffed animal poking its head out of the knapsack. The supermarket had been closed for a while by this time. She's going to like a corner store. However, convenience stores, which have been growing in popularity lately, stayed open until midnight. It was very convenient for Maria, whose mother's return was often late. Maria lowered the knapsack from her back and, carrying it like a child in her arms, she headed over to the sweet buns corner. I knew she was getting a sweet bun. I could like smell it. I could smell it. She pointed to a sweet bun that she had eaten before, explaining to Sakutaro that this one was delicious, and that one was pretty good too. Sakutaro seemed to be enjoying it a lot. I'm gonna have the 3-colored one. With just this one? You could eat bean jam, cream, and strawberry jam. But there's sometimes greenish brown bean jam or white bean jam. There should be one kind of bean jam. Are you? Looks like having different things inside makes them interesting. Are you? Next, I'll have a fruit yogurt. Okay. I feel like... I don't know. I'm kind of... If she better get some blueberry yogurt. I'm gonna really fuck with her if she gets some blueberry yogurt. Come on. There's fruit in it, but it isn't sweet. Oh wait, she gets fruit in the yogurt? I would never. That would be such like a taste texture thing for me. I couldn't. Yeah, I'm sure Mama will be fine with it. Do you want one too, Sakutaro? Are you? Is that really okay? What about the money? Ugh, no problem. Look, it's Shotoku Kataishi. Ugh. I don't know what that means. So I can buy whatever you want too, Sakutaro. Let's eat together. Would you like some yogurt too, Sakutaro? When Maria made to grab another one of the same fruit yogurt, Sakutaro bent his head slightly, worried. Are you? But I can't eat a big one, so a small one will be fine. Ugh. Then how about a small yogurt? It's 30 yen. That's cheap. Are you? That's good enough for me. Yogurt with Maria. Yogurt with Sakutaro. Ugh. Oh, this is so cute. Maria put the 3 colored bread and the 2 yogurts into a shopping basket and brought them to the register. The man running the register had been in charge of the tobacco shop that had been here until last year. I seem to be seeing you a lot this time of day, little lady. You're a good girl, but maybe you'd better come with your mother if you're going to be shopping at this time in the future, okay? Mama said it's okay, so it's fine. Mama always comes home late because of her work, but we aren't lonely, right, Sakutaro? Are you? Really? That sounds tough. Here, I'll give you some free soda. What? She gets a free soda? Damn! Yikes. The man working at the store took a can of leftover soda or something from behind the register and packed it into the bag with everything else. Thank you, mister. Ugh. Isn't that great, Sakutaro? Are you? Since she had been told not to buy soda, she couldn't take it back home. Oh, this is so freaking... So now she gets to drink it on her walk back. She gets her cake and eats it too. Hell yeah, Maria. So she decided not to drink it on her way back and not bring the empty can home. I thought they didn't have trash cans in Japan. That's crazy. With the vinyl bag with the sweet bun in it around her elbow, holding the knapsack with Sakutaro in it at the same time and drinking her soda, the two of them walked home. I would freaking drop everything. Ugh. Yuzu Koshu soda isn't really good. What is that? Yuzu Koshu. Soda. It's a spicy Japanese condiment made from chili peppers, yuzu peel, and salt that has been fermented. Oh! Okay. You want to try it too, Sakutaro? Yeah. You're mean, Maria. Nasty. It sure is. Ugh. Yeah, like a fermented pepper soda? I don't know. Not for me, I think. Of course, it's not like she could actually make a stuffed animal drink soda. She just put the can to Sakutaro's mouth and pretended to tilt it. But it was no fun. But it was fun for Maria to share the taste of this weird drink that she had gotten for free with Sakutaro. There was a huge moon in the sky. At times, that moon had been clouded by tears when she'd been unmanageable during Rose's overnight stays. Oh my gosh! And when she'd been scolded by her mother, this moon was very warm and seemed to watch over the two of them as they enjoyed their trip home by themselves. Maria and Sakutaro. Angie watched the two of them go from behind. She looked so warm from behind. After looking at the backs of Maria One-chan and Sakutaro together, it became very hard to remember all of those long nights when she'd cried because her mother hadn't come home. That's fucking sad. I couldn't say it to Maria One-chan, but if I'd been the same position, I may have given a stuffed animal the name Sakutaro. But it wouldn't have been anything more or less than a stuffed animal. Anyone can make a ridiculous relationship that only distracts you from your loneliness. But Maria One-chan was different. Sakutaro isn't a stuffed animal or a toy. He was a real friend, and far from just distracting Maria from her loneliness, he changed the nights without her mother into a fun time where they could play all by themselves. Was it because Sakutaro was a special stuffed animal? Because her mother had made it herself? Because it was very, very cute? Probably not. If there's a secret here, it doesn't lie with Sakutaro. I think it probably lies with Maria One-chan. This is the power of magic you were talking about, Maria One-chan. Ugh. Knowing magic means you notice a lot of friends right beside you that you didn't notice before. How am I already out of water? Okay, I'm not worrying about that right now. It's as fun as having a bunch of new toy shops pop up all over the neighborhood. If even I, locked up in an academy without a single friend, had power like Maria One-chan, I wonder if I could make my days just a bit richer. I wonder if I'll be able to honestly shed tears on nights I feel like crying, to smile on gray nights. Yes, you can. You can do it. After all, you also have what it takes to become a witch. What it takes to become a witch. I have what it takes to become a witch, too. So I've got a lot more studying and training to do. I'll definitely become a wonderful witch, flying in the sky on a broom, drawing rainbows with my cane, making candy fall from the sky. I can definitely do it. Then I'll show you too. It'll definitely be like a scene from a wonderful dream. Maria One-chan said that, making an absolute promise with her smile. There's no way I can become a witch. But if Maria One-chan says that, it makes me feel that maybe I really can become a witch. Because in reality, on that desolate night, when no flower of a smile could possibly have bloomed, her magic surely gave birth to a smile. I wonder if I can become a witch. You can. You're a bit older, so your soul is bound a bit more by gravity. That might make training tougher than it is for me. But you definitely can. After all, you're already touching a small piece of magic. I am? Magic? Yeah! Come on, look. In a world where I don't exist, you summoned me, and you're talking with me. Yeah, the past, 20 minutes of dialogue has just been, covertly telling us about the way magic works and how it's, based off belief and superstition. And as you get older, you're it's like believing in Santa Claus. They talked about it earlier in episode 3. But you stop believing in Santa Claus. The magic isn't real. But for Maria, the magic is real. This is magic? Yeah. You've expanded the fragment of my soul that I left in my diary, and you're reviving me right now. I also said it a short while ago, right? Since you managed to reunite with me and have a conversation, since you're able to smile every once in a while, you must have some magical talent, Angie. Your Maria One-chan guarantees it. You said it a second ago, One-chan. I thought I could only meet you while the diary's open, but you're really nearby all the time, right? If I had more of the power of magic, would I be able to see you? And just like now, would I be able to talk with you, One-chan? At any time? Yeah, we could talk at any time. I'm there by your side to say good morning, even during class. Let's talk together during dull classes to distract you from your boredom. I'll also be there to talk to you during your meals, so let's always be together like this during lunch break. You're with you even after school too, and of course, I'm always by your side, even after you return to the dormitory. It's just that you don't see me except when the diary is opened. Even when I close the diary, Maria One-chan, you'll be by my side, right? Yes, I'll be there. So if you try to see me and try to talk to me, I'll definitely be able to answer. Angie, I'm afraid you might just have schizophrenia, my queen. It's okay. If you look strongly and try to talk, that is, I'll give it a try. It isn't easy, okay? It isn't going to go well all of a sudden, got it? I understand. I'm sure it won't be easy. But I want to believe like you, Maria One-chan. I understand. Then look at me well. Look closely. Okay. Slowly open and close your eyes. You can't shut them for a long time all of a sudden. After burning my form into your eyes, try to make it blend into the inside of your eyelids. Ooh, I'm doing that right now. I'm gonna stare. I'm gonna do it right now. Oh, I just did it. That's cool. Yeah, I'm doing it. Once you can visualize me, even when your eyes are closed, without changing anything, slowly and softly close your eyes again. How is it? Can you still see me? Yes. I think I can probably see you. Then try opening your eyes for a second. Now, for the real thing, calm your heart and close the diary. At that time, my form may disappear for a second. Alright, let's see what happens when she closes the diary. But calm your heart and don't get anxious. And then try to make the me that's blended into the inside of your eyelids blend back into your eyes. Slowly visualize me in the empty air. In the empty air, see me. Yeah, I'm okay. Then I'll close the diary. Slowly, I closed it. A gray reality filled with dull air unfolded. Of course, Maria One-chan's form disappeared. Give it all you've got. Have courage. Take the first step into the world of witches. I felt like Maria One-chan was cheering me on inside my heart. She's cheering me on? Really? Or do I just think that she is? No, that's wrong. It's because I think that... It's because I think that... Reading is hard. It's because I think that this. I think this that I. It's because I think this that I cannot see her. Holy moly! Okay. Maria One-chan is always by my side. And even now, she's definitely there, cheering me on to do my best. That reached my ears, so I mustn't ignore it like it's my imagination or the voice of my own heart. I believe that Maria One-chan is there. And that's when she shows up, right? I mustn't doubt. I believe. One-chan said she'd always be by my side. I must not doubt that. But looking at that empty space, by the empty back wall of the school building, amidst those almost heartlessly boring rays of sunlight, calling out her name was unexpectedly difficult. The chains of common sense that had clung to me until today sneered at me, telling me that calling out to the empty air was ridiculous. It was almost like being told to take a step forward off the roof of a skyscraper overlooking a sea of lights. It's just like that. I wonder if you just did that. It's Maria One-chan saying it. It's alright. She's saying I'm someone who can do it. Stop thinking that you might fall, or that it'd be foolish to take a step off the roof. Yeah. And free yourself from those chains of common sense. Whew. Okay. I steadied my breathing. I concentrated my mind. Make the vivid form of Maria One-chan the empty space before you rise to the surface. Understand magic. And see Maria One-chan. There she is. Maria One-chan. Huh? Is someone there? At that time, I was answered by a rustle in the bushes and a wild cry, and I came to my senses. Aw, somebody broke her frame. It looks like I wasn't the only one behind the school building. Ding dong. No, since I'd been so immersed in the world of that diary, I hadn't noticed someone coming. I recognized a group of three beyond the bushes. Oh, they're gonna be bullies. They were kids from my class. From their appearance, it felt as though they'd come to behind the school building to gossip about someone or talk in secret. I hurried out of that place because if it became known that I'd been alone in a place like this, mumbling to myself, it'd become a pain again. Yeah, probably. She said it, right? She said it, right? She said Maria One-chan or something, right? Isn't that creepy? She isn't seeing spirits or something, is she? Oh no. Yushiro Miya-san's so funny. I could hear the shrill, loud laughter from behind. Irritated and feeling that Maria One-chan had been made fun of. I left that place at a quick pace, and then a jog once I turned the corner. I might have made it to One-chan's world with just a little more time. It was frustrating, aggravating. Why does everyone get in my way? I haven't gotten in anyone else's way, not even once. I ran and ran, but it still felt as though I could hear their shrill laughter. Umineko no naku koro ni, Rondo of the Witch of Reasoning. Alright, I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. I must stay hydrated. Oh, wait. I'm not free yet. Hold up. 98? I thought we were already in 1998. Oh no, I think it said we were just like some vague time after the... Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is this? Okay, now that we have a new character, I'm gonna let him hold up the screen while I get some water. Be right back, gang. Alright, we got a new character drop. I got some water. I got some... I'm really fucking treating myself with these ones. I got some chocolate-covered peanuts. They're very yummy. I love bulk candy like this. You should be very jealous. This guy is just a freaking ensemble of confusion to me. Rumor has it, Angie-chan. No, I don't know. I deserve it. Oh, thank you. That you jumped off the top of a skyscraper? The groupies were getting annoying, so I thought I'd give them the slip. Why did I give her that voice? Angie and an old gentleman wearing an expensive suit were alone in the massive, modern conference room. Oh, nope, I have a voice for him. I'm giving him the fucking Nazim voice from Skyrim. All the newest machines for presentations were installed there, but they didn't upset its refined and composed atmosphere. So I think we've moved back into present time. So that was a little bit of a prequel, where now we've been moved back into like a physical time. Fuck Nazim. That's why he just kind of gives Nazim energy to me with those earrings. I don't know how to explain it. It just gives Nazim to me. You're trying to get to the Cloud District too. Okay, I'm so ready for him. And that alone was enough to make the business-like theme of the room abundantly clear. I feel like half the character voices I do are just like some variation of total prick. Like, it's my Natsui voice is a total prick. The original Kraus voice I did was a total prick. I don't even do that voice anymore. It just didn't speak to me as much. However, that didn't matter at all to Angie. It's giving Nazim. She carelessly sat on a high chair that executives making a salary of several 10 million yen probably sat in, looking aloof from the world. It's because I knew they were remodeling on a lower floor and had a safety net out. Okay, well that explains it. I like that explanation. That works for me. Angie talked about it like it was no big deal, but in reality, it had been a miracle among miracles. To think that she'd shot through several layers of safety netting for the remodeling project, and caught in a multicolored banner adorning the atrium and slipped off. That's insane. Maybe she is mentally ill, only to be softly caught by a final barrier, land on the ground without a scratch, and then briskly leave that place. It put Hong Kong movies to shame. Whether you knew it or not, this is a 200-meter tall super skyscraper that we're talking about, right? If things hadn't gone as you planned, it'd be a mess to deal with now. Why does every character I give sound like that? I'm so fucking pissed. I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to my guns. I figured that if I died, then I'd be dead, and that would be that, more or less. Well, still, I was testing my luck a bit. Call it youthful zeal. As though saying that she'd had enough of that topic, Angie shrugged coldly. Maybe he's a distant cousin of Natsuhi. Maybe. Seeing that, the old gentleman who was looking at the world below through a crack in the blinds cackled. So you were testing your luck, is that it? My, you truly are Kinzo-san's grandchild. Oh, this guy knows Kinzo? What the fuck? Who is this guy? I'm still not over the fact that earlier they mentioned a servant's name, Lunan, like way back in episode 2, maybe even 1. It never came up again who that person was. Lunan. The nerve to trust your life to chance. The chairman was also a woman who could stake her life on a bet like it was nothing. So maybe this is the Ushirimiya blood at work. You'll make it really big in the future. Just tell me who he is. I want to know. Is it 3 pages now? There is. Please, let me be blunt. Why not give up this running away from home act and return to the Sumadera family? Is this like Kairi's brother? Oh, yeah. Maybe it is. I heard that Mom had a bad relationship with her family. I don't want to go to the house of the people I first met at a funeral. The Sumaderas are Mom's family. They're an old family from Kyoto, and compared to Mom's frank attitude, unbelievably strict. The only Sumadera I'd been on good terms with was Grandpa, who was living apart from his family under the guise of retirement. Mom kept in touch with him too, but she avoided the rest of the family completely, almost hostilely so. So when I went out to play with the Sumadera family, it was always Grandpa's house I'd visited. What is this? I don't even know what this object is. Is it like an ashtray? Like these could like hold the butts of the ciggies? When I was young, I didn't really understand it. But I hear that Grandpa was an extremely weak person. As a man who'd moved into his wife's family register, and his relationship with Grandma was also bad. Do they just have more matrilineal marriages in Japan? You might even say that Grandma hated him and confined him to the house. It isn't hard to imagine that, because she had a soft spot for Grandpa alone, Mom was also hated by the Sumaderas. Since I was her daughter, they probably hated me quite a bit too. And yet, they appeared for the first time at Mom's funeral, shamelessly going on about how big I'd gotten, like they could actually act like a family after all this time. When Aunt Ava died, I would inherit all the wealth of the Yoshira Miya family. Wait, didn't she already dead? Oh, wait, yeah. If that wasn't what they were after, there's no way they would have been able to say such disgusting words. Well, it's not as though I can understand your desire for self-dependence now that you're all alone. I'm giving him a different voice because I feel like I've given that voice to multiple characters. He needs something new. I can't. I'm not sticking to my guns. I'm actually deeply insecure. Okay. Yep. I don't know. There's something about this guy's douchey ponytail and fucking earrings that I absolutely fucking despise. This isn't self-abandonment. I'm putting a pin in this. I'm coming back to it later. I'm just taking a carefree stroll now that that annoying Aunt Ava's finally kicked the bucket. Everyone else is just making too big of a deal out of it. Of course, everyone's after the vast Ushira Miya wealth I bear. They must think that becoming my guardian means they'll be able to do as they please with that wealth. Just how many people have tried to get close to me, acting like they want to be a substitute parent. If you find that you're hurting, please talk with me and I will help, okay? After all, I think of you as my own grandchild, Angie-chan. I'll say, no thank you for now. More importantly, let's return to what we were talking about. Angie-chan, no matter how many times you ask, I'm hiding nothing. The chairman was the only survivor on Rokunjima that day, and she passed away without saying anything. So is this guy a Sumadera, or is he just somebody that knows Kinzo? I myself know nothing. Everything is wrapped in darkness, you see. This old gentleman was one of those leaders who had been entrusted with the business group Ava had built up after she passed away. The one he called chairman was the former chairman, Ushira Miya Ava. His company once had friendly ties with Hideyoshi's business. Oh, is this the guy that was trying to do the hostile takeover of Hideyoshi's restaurant business? He'd have a close relationship with both Hideyoshi and Ava. For that reason, when Ava lost Hideyoshi, he became the only person to whom Ava might have let her true intentions slip. Whenever Ava's heart was torn out by the loss of her family, whenever she took it out on Angie, he had acted as a buffer between the two. So although Angie didn't trust him, she found him a very easy person to question. What's his name? Is his name like a reveal? A crime was... No, that accident. If I call it a crime, I'll get in trouble. I had the same questions about it as the public in the talk shows. Oh, she's saying she was in Kuadorian? Was that her alibi, is that she was in Kuadorian? What? At the time of the accident, why was Aunt Ava in a place 2 kilometers away from the mansion all alone? And on the night of a storm. Back then, Kinzo-san was unsure as to whom he should select to be his successor. Officially, he decided on his son, Kraus-san, but he didn't have much trust in that man. So to fairly determine a successor from among the 4 siblings, he made this game-like test called the Riddle the Epitaph. Ostensibly, yes. Kinzo-san probably planned to make Eva-san the successor from the beginning. He wanted to withdraw his own rule that the eldest son be the successor, and instead of Kraus-san, leave the family to extremely diligent and brilliant Eva-san. The new rule about giving the inheritance to the one who solved the epitaph was probably nothing more than a farce to snatch the position of successor away from Kraus-san. What do you mean by farce? There was no need for anyone to solve that epitaph. Once it had been displayed for an appropriate amount of time, Kinzo could just call Eva-san, whom he truly wanted to succeed him. Is this what he thinks, or is this what Eva told him? And give her the answer. In other words, that itself would provide proof of her succession to the headship. This isn't something they've brought up on the talk shows, is it? Well, once you bring up the succession of the headship, conspiracy theories tend to rise to the surface. I'm no fool myself. I won't go out of my way to say things that could invite misunderstandings, you see. This was his theory. At that time, the Yoshiramiya family head, Kinzo, whose remaining life was announced to be short, was troubled by problems of who was to succeed him. Normally, the successor would be fixed as the oldest son, Kraus, whom Kinzo had chosen himself. But in his later years, Kinzo began to think Eva would make a more fitting family head. However, Kinzo, who was stubborn even against himself, was stymied by the title of successor that he'd already given to Kraus. And he'd searched for an official stance by which he could skip over Kraus and select Eva as his successor. That official stance was the Riddle the Epitaph. The primary successor was still Kraus, but there was a new rule. In this timeline, it seems Eva seems to have escaped the accident by being 2 kilometers away from the others. That's what I'm saying. I don't. She had to have been at Kuadorian, right? Like, that's what she's claiming. Or that the gold is 2 kilometers away. Maybe the vault for the gold is 2 kilometers away. Yeah, I don't know. It would be chosen as a successor to the headship. Unless the gold is at Kuadorian, which I've already said before that I believe is likely. More likely. Then on what would probably be his final family conference, Kinzo told Eva the answer to that riddle himself. In short, it was the same as proclaiming that Eva herself was the successor. On that day, Eva-san was summoned by Kinzo-san, who revealed the answer to her. And so that she could succeed the headship, he called... Oh, I was right! He called Eva-san to the hidden mansion in Kuadorian, which only the head knew about. I was right. She was at Kuadorian. And because Aunt Eva arrives at the hidden mansion 1 step ahead, she escaped harm in that accident, you say? Maybe Aunt Eva just killed everyone and made it look like an accident, so she could steal all the wealth for herself. And maybe that's why only she escaped unharmed. Well, that's what the papers are shouting about. However, I believe Eva-san. I'd say there are several points that justify trusting her. For example, That ring of the Ushiramiya family head, which is on your finger now, Angie-chan. That ring is the only one of its kind in the world which Kinzo-san had made especially. And the artisan who made it acknowledges that the object on your finger is, without a doubt, that ring. The Ushiramiya family head's ring. That ring, with the heft of gold and the one-wigged seal on it, had a diamond arranged on a pedestal and felt both sturdy and reminiscent of the dark hobbies of the rich. Kinzo had worn that on his finger without removing it even for a moment. This man was saying the fact that Ava had proved... This man was saying that the fact Ava had it proved that Kinzo had acknowledged her as the successor, or she just, like, found it outside. When Kinzo threw it out in one of his Kinzo princess moments. After all, Ava-san certainly did have that ring, and if you take into consideration that Ava-san actually was talented, and that Kraus-san has made a fool of himself several times before in the business scene, I cannot imagine that Ava-san's story is completely made up. Although there's the possibility that she murdered grandfather in order to steal that ring, then on Ava, using some kind of trick, massacred everyone and made it look like an accident. Ah, yes. It seems the papers were saying something about her massacring everyone, keeping all the wealth to herself as a goal. True, Ava-san was a person capable of holding back nothing when she was determined to accomplish something. Or she may have committed murder just once in her life. If a chance for keeping all the Ushiramiya family wealth for herself presented itself. However, I don't think that happened. Oh wait, I forgot to say this. I want to do tea and cookies again. On Halloween, I want to do tea and cookies. So if you guys plan on stopping on, I'm streaming Friday, which I don't usually stream on Friday, but how could I not stream Umineko on Halloween? So I will be streaming Friday, and there will be tea and cookies, and I will be very tired because I will be like straight out of work. But it'll be fine. So get your tea and cookies ready for Friday, nerds, because we got to have tea with Lady Beatrice again. So what's the second point that justifies your trust in her? Ava-san's family. Hideyoshi-san and George-kun. It might be difficult for you to believe all of a sudden Angie-chan, but Ava-san was a person who treasured family greatly. True, a part of me didn't want to believe it or acknowledge it, but I did understand vaguely. I like that her eyes are slightly going in two different directions, like she's just a little dull in the head. Aunt Ava certainly had a person who highly treasured her family. After all, the root of her twisted personality. You have your birthday this Thursday. See if you can come. It's okay. The VOD will always be up. Yeah, happy birthday in advance. After all, the roots of her twisted personality had been nothing more than the sadness of losing her beloved husband and son. After getting hit with her angry outbursts as she tried to distract herself from that pain, I have no feelings of sympathy at all. But it's not like I can imagine how the incredible shock of losing her whole family must have changed her character. You're saying that there's no way Aunt Ava, who loved her family, would throw away her husband and son? That's why I think Kairi killed both of them. I definitely am starting to think Kairi might have, like, retaliation killed Hideyoshi, and then she was, like, still alive and Death Knell killed George, and then wrote that shit in the fucking door. That makes sense to me. Because I think Kairi's a bad bitch who's petty and would definitely kill George if it just meant pissing Ava off. Fuck. The more I play this game, the more I like Kairi. Kairi's always fucking standing on business. Oh, I don't think she killed Nanjo at all. I don't think Kairi killed Nanjo. I don't know who killed Nanjo yet. I have no answers to that shit. That red web is... I cannot deal with that red web. But I definitely think she killed George. You're saying there's no way... Okay, yeah, that's right. Even if Eva-san really was the culprit and massacred the entire family, making it look like an accident, she most certainly would have spared her husband and her son. She would quibble that, by coincidence, only her family had been in the hidden mansion. If Hideyoshi-san and George couldn't have been safe, even I probably would suspect Eva-san. I truly cannot imagine that Eva-san's wailing at Hideyoshi-san's funeral was an act. Sounds like both points so far are just circumstantial evidence. That isn't the same as physically proving Aunt Ava's innocence. Ha. If you say that, then you're stuck right away. Eva-san was the only survivor. And she says that this is the truth. But no one can prove her innocence. Yes, that's right. And no one can prove that she committed a crime, either. It's a devil's proof. And the final point that justifies trusting her is the police. After all, it was such a flashy crime. The police were being pushed forward by a public in uproar over conspiracy theories, so they must have investigated Eva-san thoroughly. It was easy to feel something unnatural about the claim that Eva had avoided the accident by coincidence, because she alone had escaped to a hidden mansion. Furthermore, at the time, Hideyoshi's company had been right in the middle of a takeover struggle. In order to buy off the big stockholders, she wanted a large sum of cash. It shouldn't have been too hard to find a motive there. But, as a matter of fact, there had been nothing at all that implicated Eva as she went to the family conference. Nothing unnatural was found on her that could have been used to brutally murder her family and make it look like an accident. I can't wait till you find the Ushiramiya family spear gun. That's gonna be a big brain opener for me when we find the Ushiramiya Kinzo 7-stake spear gun that he's been using. The servants who escaped harm by being off duty on that day also stated, I'd still want to meet the other servants. They said they hadn't seen anything strange regarding anyone related to the event, Eva included. Putting all of that together, it could only be concluded that Ushiramiya Eva had been headed to Rokujima for a normal family conference without any change, and had encountered an accident. And stop calling it an accident. That's insane. Yeah, 17 people's bodies just do that. The police looked so intensely and they still couldn't find evidence that it was a crime. Man, I am like snifflies. Oh, fuck. They reached that conclusion themselves. A little whoopsie. An oopsie daisy, if you will. Bleh. Doesn't this resolve the Rokujima suspicion? That just means that the police couldn't find evidence that it was a crime, right? There's nothing I can say to counter that. It becomes a devil's proof. There it is, baby! Let's fucking go! To expose it as her a crime, you would simply need to find evidence. But what could you possibly find to prove her innocence? It's impossible to prove a negative fact. Did Aunt Ava commit a crime or did she not? Because we can't find any materials that say for sure. The truth will remain a mystery. That's what you're saying, right? That's it. Phrased in a manner you would prefer. That's what it amounts to. It was impossible even for Ava-san to prove her own innocence. On that island, an unfortunate accident occurred. And Ava-san survived by chance. How was she able to prove that she spent the whole day in Kuadorian? Oh my fucking god. We don't know any more than that. In short, it all comes down to whether you believe the story of the only survivor, Ava-san, or not. No, I really don't believe her, actually. I believed the ring and her praiseworthy love for her family. The tears she shed at the funeral. Taking all of that into consideration, I decided to believe her story. But I don't believe. If she wanted to steal the ring, there are probably many ways for her to do it, and no one knows if her relationship with her family really was that good. I don't think it was. No one can prove that tears at a funeral are real. Anyway, I hated Aunt Ava from the very beginning. I don't even want to believe her. Beep beep. Ha ha ha. How does one view the truth of the crime? What is that fucking noise? You and I are on completely opposing sides. I wonder if this is like a step, like a allegory for Battler Beatrice. I don't know. Even though the information we are given is exactly the same, we interpret it in completely different ways. This happens often in politics and business. The exact same enterprise will always be assessed in multiple differing ways. Do you know why? Why? Okay, old man Beatrice. Earring Beatrice. This guy looks like a spaghetti western Italian playing a Native American. It's a question of whether one is love. Whether you feel love for someone or not completely changes how you view them. If a person you gives to the poor, you respect them for it, right? But if someone you hate starts donating, you fiercely protest that it's a publicity stunt or they're handing out favors. No matter what they do or don't do, you thank them if you have love and criticize them if you don't. That's how the world works. Can Aunt Ava be trusted or can't she? You're saying that's all that really matters? Those who suspect her will probably take anything she does or doesn't do and truly see it as something unnatural. And it works in reverse. As for me, I think that barring certain extreme cases, truth might not exist in this world at all. Okay. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know such a thing. I would not know if truth exists or not. I would not claim to have such insight. I feel like I've kind of penned off my own little zone of truth. No, even if truth does exist. Whether you believe it or not is determined by whether you have love or not. Can you really call truth without certainty truth? Even if Ava-san had been able to show physical proof that she had an alibi, would you have been able to believe it? It's hard to counter that. I hate Aunt Ava, so I'll probably deny any information beneficial to her. interpret any neutral information in a negative way. In other words, the truth is already decided inside me. So just what in the world is this truth that I'm still searching for, unsatisfied? That's how it is. So, no matter what you hear from me, since you still suspect Ava-san after all this time, can you just tell me your fucking name? Nothing will change. At the very least, even if you were to grasp a piece of hitherto unknown information, I don't think you'd be able to reach the truth the way you are now. So I can't reach the truth? After all, no matter what kind of new information or proof you find, Angie-chan, it won't change your stance that Ava-san is the culprit, right? So it's pointless to investigate anything more, because the truth inside you is already decided. However, if you stopped assuming that to be the truth, if you wish to struggle further towards the deeper, real truth, there is a single way: magic. I believe I already mentioned it, but do you know what it is? Is it love? I don't really know what you mean. Right now, you're considering that this under the assumption that Ava-san is the culprit. But that's no different than looking at something with a single eye. With one eye, no matter how much you squint, you cannot see the object in 3 dimensions, right? I don't know. That's why we have another eye. And of course, it's in a different position from the first eye. You're telling me to look at things based on the supposition that Ava isn't the culprit? Or else that is a real accident? That it was a real accident? Yes, that's correct. When thinking about anything, you should try to look at it from different perspectives. If you don't, you won't understand anything about what is real. I feel like there's something subtextual going on. It's the same with newspapers. You can't see anything from a single viewpoint of a writer who wrote an article in a single newspaper. Sometimes you can only process information composedly and in 3 dimensions when you read multiple newspapers. Without love, the truth cannot be seen. Sounds nice. Maybe he thought it was interesting that such a flashy phrase would pop out of his mouth. For a while, he laughed, looking pleased. At the same time, he was telling me that he said everything he knew. And that it was about time to leave. I understood that and got to my feet. I do understand your feelings, Angie-chan. You should do as you like for a while until you're satisfied. You were 6 years old at the time. I understand how you must feel after losing your family before you could even understand what that meant, and you must still be unable to sort out your heart. You may learn the truth, and you may not. Ava-san may be the culprit, and she may be a victim. I pray that you find the truth you believe in, Angie-chan. A journey at such a young age may prove to be a valuable experience. Thank you very much. I'm truly sorry to be such a bother when you're so busy. Okonogi-san. Hi, Okonogi-san. Okonogi Tetsuro. We have a name. Okonogi Tetsuro. A leading member of the Yoshiramiya group, between the time of Ava's death and Angie succeeding her positions management of the group has fallen to core members like him in her stead. However, Angie has no desire to inherit that role, leaving the group on the brink of fracturing internally and putting Okonogi in a difficult position. He was once the president of a foodstuffs distribution company and had an intimate relationship with Hideyoshi's business. Because of that long-lasting association, Ava trusted him particularly, and he was appointed to an important post within the group. Alright, thanks, Okonogi. Tetsuro Okonogi. No trouble, no trouble. What are you going to do now? Well, whatever works. I've made appointments with several specialists and people related to the crime, and I plan to go visit them. I see. I hope you find your answer and you can accept. Beep, beep, beep. At that time, company president Okonogi's secretary came in, handing him a memo over his shoulder. He read it, then looked between it and my face. Angie-chan? My apologies that this comes right after telling you to try going on a journey, but I have some information you should lend an ear to. It looks like you're in a bit of a nasty fix right now. People after my money? This is why money's stupid. Yes, but if you sell off all the wealth, trying to donate the whole sum to public welfare, you'll make the eyes pop out of those people optimistic about their chances with your fortune. Oh, the Sumadera family. Those guys act so proud, like they're my guards or something. I haven't forgotten Aunt Ava. There's no way I'll put myself in the care of the Sumadera family. They probably want to, as Aunt Ava often threatened in the past, cut off my arms and legs, throw me in a warehouse, and suck the Ushiramiya family's wealth dry. Apparently, a messenger from the Sumadera family is coming here. I actually think this is the most profound discussion in Umineko thus far. In my life, I very often notice how incredibly often people assume things based off if they love someone or not, on whether someone is sympathetic to one another. I notice people are like this much more often. It's the confirmation bias. We want to root for our enemies, or we want to root for our allies and sneer at our enemies. Sometimes, like, you can really just boil down human tribalism to love or hate, and the things we do and the things we build up to discuss. I guess say to like, oh, what am I trying to say here? And how we like build up our feelings of love and hate to like build our teams and our tribes of people we associate with. They're saying to hand you over. No, that they want to protect you. A messenger, you say? It's your aunt, Kairi-san's younger sister. I believe she told me earlier that she thinks of you as a little sister. She's gotta be joking. At least call me a granddaughter, you old hag. Judging from the context, it seems that they have no wish to listen to your desires. I have a car waiting in the parking lot, 2 stories underground. Go. The Sumadera family is telling you to hand me over. Is it really okay to let me go? You will definitely become something big in the future, Angie-chan. Let's call this a favor to be repaid upon your success. Go, quickly. Maybe I was wrong to think he's a douche. Maybe that was wrong of me. Maybe he's just a decent guy. You know what? I don't even think... Actually, maybe I should. I don't know. He does associate with Ava. I don't know. Maybe I just liked his foxy grandpa ass wink he gave. Maybe that's what I liked. I don't know. After bowing silently and deeply, Angie left that place at a dash. After watching her leave, the female secretary straightened her glasses and whispered, "The Sumidera family told us to stall her. Is it really alright to let her go?" We did stall her, more than enough. If they still don't make it in time, that's their own fault. I told Angie Chan to run for it. I informed the Sumideras that Angie Chan would be coming. Whether she's caught or not, I will not be blamed. Everything in this world is love, you see. Don't worry, she'll escape. After all, that child's capable of leaping off a building to shake pursuers. Okanogi looked down again through a crack in the blinds, muttering, "Nope, definitely couldn't do it." Angie wasn't a fool herself. She got off the elevator, but on the third floor. A taxi in the second level of the basement. That's so neat and clean, I don't like it. It's probably better to refuse for now. But my enemies aren't fools either. They'll probably be waiting for me in the first floor lobby, as well as the underground parking lot. What the fuck is this? It's such a massive building. Instead of getting anxious and escaping outside, maybe it's better to stay inside and wait it out. No, that's useless. If they get their hands on a security room in a modern building like this, I'll have nowhere to run to. This entire building is like a massive dead end. The third floor is the business floor. A young girl like me will clearly stick out. Trying not to stand out any more than I had to, I walked at a brisk pace, searching for an emergency exit. It'd be perfect if that staircase was like outside one. I found the door to the emergency exit. After opening that heavy door, I found the outside staircase I'd hoped for. I bumped into a man who looked like an employee skipping work and smoking a cigarette. It's fucking Hideyoshi. It's actually Hideyoshi. After glaring at me, he quickly crushed out his cigarette and went away. It looked like there was no one below. If I'm gonna escape, now's my only chance. Oh shit! Just when I thought that, a black car slid right under me and came to a sudden stop with an incredible squealing of the tires. Oh my god, she's cooked. Judging by the sound of the tires, it seemed that they had several other allies, and that one of them had come here to block this path. Not bad, Aunt Kasumi. To think that you'd even send a car to pick up your little sister when she's trying to get out through an emergency exit. Bam, bam! The cars at the door were forcefully opened, and three black-suited men jumped out, looking up at the emergency staircase. Our eyes met. 12, target found. Northwest side emergency stairs, third floor, send support. Angie-sama! Try not to move from there. Forgive our roughness. The three of them begin to clamber up the emergency exit. They've already announced that they plan to be rough. This is pretty bad. As long as I don't stop breathing, they've probably been ordered to grab me no matter what. Even if they gotta rip out one of my arms. Clank, 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 clank. Their heavy, wild footsteps became a helix and began to rise from the lower floors, getting closer. In the entrance lobby of the building, a woman with 7 black-suited guards behind her and advanced at a leisurely pace. That's probably her. Seeing this ostentatious entrance, the security guards for the building ran up to them, asking if they had an appointment. How typical of Tokyo people. That's her. Don't you understand the status of the person? Is she from Kyoto? I bet you she's from fucking Kyoto. Don't you understand the status of the person you are talking to without her having to say her name? My apologies. At our company, guests are to take a security... Back down, scum. I came because I was called by your president. Call Okanogi Tetsuro here. I think you call me here and then not welcome me. I'm typical of Tokyo people. My apologies. Welcome to the Ashiramiya group, Sumadera Kasumi-san. Man, this is like really cool to watch this. Like, we're getting a bunch of new characters. I think it's so fucking cool. Daughter of the declining noble family, Sumadera. Of the declining noble family Sumadera, Ushiramiya Kairi's younger sister. She despises her sisters, and by extension, Angie as well. She's the opposite of the freewheeling person Kairi once was, and holds appearance in high regard, possessing a strong ambition for philanthropy. However, this is all just a craving for the limelight caused by a complex she has towards her sister. There are several opposing factions in the Sumadera family, and they're constantly engaged in a secret feud over who controls the vast wealth Angie holds. With his secretary behind him, Okanogi dashingly appeared from the elevator. Even though both of them wore bold smiles, they were wrapped in a tension reminiscent of the smell of gunpowder. Where's Angie? I came to greet that adorable daughter of my big sisters. Strict observance of time is our motto here at the Ushiramiya group. The former chairman herself said that those who can't keep time can't keep contracts. You called me all the way to Tokyo, and this is all you have to show for it. You let her go, didn't you? Please, she escaped from us. We did stall her for quite some time, but unsurprisingly, she did eventually smell a rat. Of course, this wouldn't have been a problem at all if you had arrived on time, Sumadera-san. These provincials and their loose concept of time. Yes, she is from Kyoto, or from like the country. What was that? What did you say to me? You couldn't sense any of Kairi's open frankness in Kasumi's face. She wore the arrogance of the ancient Sumadera family towards the ruined Ishiramiya family, as well as pride, because she didn't want anyone to notice that her family was declining so much that they couldn't ignore the Ishiramiya family's wealth. Even at a glance, it was easy to understand why Angie hated her aunt so deeply. She couldn't even stand a slight insult, and though she still smiled, her eyebrows twitched. At that time, the black-suited man behind Kasumi whispered to her, Angie-sama has been found. We are currently dealing with her. Oh, I'm glad we made it in time. Thank you, Okanogi. It seems I can finally take my mischievous niece home. I've waited so long to talk with that girl in my tea room, with all of the tools prepared. Clank, 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 clank. As the violent sound drew a helix, it rushed up at me from below, threatening to swallow me up. Of course, even if I fight, there's no way I'll be able to win. And yet, running into the building would be like jumping into a dead end of my own accord. Man, this shit's crazy. My enemies will increase in number with time. If I don't do something here and now, I won't have any more chances to escape. She needs to do magic. Then, 3 muscular black-suited men came into view below me. 1, 2, 3. 3 people. In other words, everyone who had gotten out of the car. If there had just been one of them, I might have been able to drop kick them or something and then smash them in the head, which might work out. But it really would be impossible with three of them. Wait, three? If there's just three, I should be able to make it. I can do it. Take a deep breath. Ah! What? You idiot, stop! Look out! What? Oh, 01, calling 12. Is the package secure? We've received a response. What happened? Respond. She's crazy, damn it! Ow. See, that worked out perfectly, didn't it? There were just the three of them after all. I've already tried that once from a higher place. I knew I'd be able to jump down just 3 floors. She's crazy. It's a good thing the car they came in was right beneath me. Even if it wasn't as pleasant as a trampoline, it broke my fall a little gently, a little roughly. How rude. You didn't have to dent that much. The roof of the car broke my fall, leaving a massive dent around my body. Car roofs are surprisingly delicate. Hold on, I'm just listening to music. Oh, this is so good. I don't think it's because of my weight. Apparently, the 3 people in the stairs hadn't planned on me jumping down. It seemed they now realized that they'd been outwitted, and they were rushing down the stairs. Umineko is now an action movie. I've gotta run and escape while I have a chance. I moved my body, making clunking sounds on the roof car. But I'd been naive. Of course they wouldn't all rush up the stairs without leaving one person behind. There was one black-suited man left in the driver's seat of the car that had broken my fall. He stuck his head out the window and he realized what had fallen and he jumped out. In a rush, I jumped off the roof, but the black-suited man's reaction was really fast. Either there was a massive reward for capturing me, or there'd be some harsh punishment in store for them if they'd let me get away. 15, secured! Secured! Ow, ow, ow! Don't touch me like that, let go! I was mercilessly held down against the asphalt. I was being crushed face down, covered and pressed down upon from above. It was a hold without a trace of elegance, but it was extremely practical and left me no room for resistance. That sucks. I tried to push back with both hands, searching for a way to resist, but I was being pushed down down solidly. And I couldn't even tear myself off the asphalt. Then another car came, squealing its tires as it slid to a sudden stop. Is it all over now? Yeah! The man that had been crushing me let out a sharp cry. She's yelling straight into my ear, making my left ear ring. What in the world? Along with the black suit guy, I fell with a thunk. What is going on? Wait, what is... So the guy is screaming in her ear while he's down. And then she falls again. And an arm stuck out in front of her eyes. Amakusa? What are you doing here? Who the fuck is this? Let's talk about that after we lost him. He gets the Rudolph voice. Who the fuck is this? To the car, quickly, lady. Amakusa grabbed my arm, easily pulled me up, spinning around. Is this like her is this Kyrie's like brother? Spinning me around with himself as the center of gravity. This one I thought it was a little like a dance. He flung me through the open door into the driver's seat. I climbed over the handbrake and slid into the passenger's seat. Pushing me in, Amakusa got into the driver's seat. Since we suddenly accelerated while I was still on all fours, I had to kick and struggle around the chair for a while, like a turtle that's been flipped over. Who is this? Amakusa checked the rear view mirror for the cars in pursuit, but he flew into the artery of the big city without lowering his speed in the slightest. We sewed our way between cars, one after another, just like a chase scene in some action movie. I was shaken by this horrible driving and trouble sitting back down. Oh no, he's not. It's Juza. Who the fuck is this if it's not Kyrie's brother? Are you hurt, lady? I'm fine. Humans are surprisingly durable. Who the fuck is he? This time I have the name. I don't know who he is with fucking Okanogi. I didn't have the name and I knew who he was. Fuck. Next time I try to escape a downward moving elevator, I'll jump out a window instead. I guess air dives are a hobby of yours, lady. Still, I'd recommend you grab a parachute next time. Sure, if I remember to do it after leaping. Cool. He smacked the steering wheel, guffawing. Need an explanation for this flippantly talking man? His name is Amakusa Juza. He was originally one of Aunt Ava's guards. Didn't she start to hate him because he chatted too much? He was much younger than the rest of the guards, but contrary to his outward flippancy, he'd hopped from the 1st Airborne of the JSDF to the French Foreign Legion? Holy shit. The only people that join the French Foreign Legion are like insane people who love war and fighting and killing. Former guard of Ava's, he's fundamentally a thrill seeker, willing to take on dangerous jobs for very little pay. Yeah, I was exactly right. The only people who join the French Foreign Legion are people who are just insane. At one point, he did work as a guard for Angie, but after repeatedly violating Ava's strict orders not to speak to her, Ava grew to dislike him and fired him. Angie seemed not to mind having him around, as he would often chat with her. This man, who traveled between the Japan Self-Defense Force, the Foreign Legion, and non-government military companies, has skill in counter-sniping and protecting VIPs. And he wears teared pants. Placing himself in overseas PMCs and high-class security companies one after another, making for a pretty incredible and unique career. But I'd heard he deserted both the JSDF and the French Foreign Legion, and that he'll be arrested if he enters France again. Both of these flippant episodes were very typical of him. The guards were sternly told not to chat with me unnecessarily, but he came and took a pass at me, didn't he? And he had supposedly dismissed him shortly before she died. It's been a while since I've heard that carefree tone. What happened after you got fired? What the fuck? He was at Blackwater? He was at Blackwater PMC? This guy's fucking evil. This guy worked for fucking Blackwater? I'm so fucking... I hate him. He is evil. They're not even called Blackwater anymore. Shit, what are they called? Hold up. Blackwater. Constellus, that's what they're called now. I guess it works. Blackwater was founded like a year before this game came out. I'm losing my mind. Ping me on Discord. Oh, nobody. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. When I came back to the country during my first time off, President Okonogi offered me a high wage. So you deserted again? I wonder how a man like that could be useful for anything. Doesn't count as desertion as long as I come back by next week. I talked with him yesterday. I was told that some troublesome people might come to call on you, lady. Sorry that turned out to be exactly right. My name probably came up since I know you, but I've got lots of crazy experience. Thanks to you, it looks like I'm in for a happy vacation plus some pocket money. So, Okanogi-san employed you as my guard? He probably wants to buy some gratitude from you, lady. After I got fired, I was indebted to President Okanogi in various ways. He's got some dirt on me here and there, and now I can't say no to him. Ah. Seems that getting indebted to Okanogi-san can be pretty costly later on. It's free jazz. It's not free jazz, actually. It's just like regular jazz, but... God, the person on the bass is carrying this song. It's insane. Seems like getting indebted to Okanogi... Okay, I read that. Anywhere. I'm employed until the weekend. Anything after that'll cost you extra. How much per day? I'll take 50,000 plus expenses. If you stop cracking jokes, I'll double it. The period of employment isn't fixed yet. It might take several weeks. That'll be tough. I'll have to call my boss to get an extension on my vacation. More than anything, I want to investigate that day. Oh, is this about Rokonjima? Exactly. What happened on that island 12 years ago? I want to investigate with my own hands to my satisfaction. Do you really expect to find anything new investigating something that old? True, but this is a journey for my own self-satisfaction. Once that's over, I'll just throw my hands up and go over to the Sumadera family. Didn't Aunt Kasumi say something about how she wanted to serve me some matcha? Maybe she'll serve me tea as I kneel on sharp wooden blocks, clutching stones or something. Damn, that sounds real freaky. Freaky. Beep, beep, beep. My apologies, we'd lost sight of them. A single man thought to be an associate assisted her in escape. Judging by his possession of a stun gun and his driving skills, he's no amateur. I see. Thank you. What a shame, Okonogi. Shall I take this as your answer? Letting her get away was your blunder. It has nothing to do with me. I do wish to prepare some matcha for you as well in the near future. The next time you're in Kyoto, please stop by. I was right. She is from Kyoto. I'm going. Oh, she's like... She gives me the ick. Oh, are you leaving already? I could offer you some chazuke first. Like the gale. Okay. Oh. With her back still facing Okonogi, she laughed softly, with an increasingly shrill and hateful tone, using that as a substitute for a sharp parting remark. Just as she stopped laughing, her features suddenly changed to look like a demon's. Because her back was facing him, Okunogi couldn't see that expression. Okunogi watched her go, laughing coolly. His secretary whispered over his shoulder, "Are you sure about this? Lady Angie is our company's primary stockholder. If the Sumadera family becomes her guardian, I get it. But you know, we're the world famous Shiramias. We can't let them take us lightly. Still, it looks like that guy managed it pretty well. All that's left is to let Angie-chan do as she pleases." I'm counting on you, Amakusa. Kasumi Amakusa. God, there's all these new characters. I'm losing my mind. Kasumi-sama, the escaping car was a rental. The license plate they displayed was a fake. We're clearly dealing with a pro. They'll probably abandon the car. Pursuit will be difficult. Should we have the police chase them? Yes. Shall we have them search for our runaway daughter? They are getting paid with our taxes, so the police must be of some use every once in a while. When I left the mansion, I boldly told my mother to leave it to me, didn't I? Do you intend to embarrass me further? It looks like it might be better for me to serve some matcha for everyone at once, doesn't it? Our underground tea room is cramped, so you'll have to wait in line. No. We will search with everything we have. She really is a cute kid. Just like Nason. Especially that way she freewheels and does as she pleases. Now I can't see anything but Nason. I'm truly looking forward to it. If only I could invite Nason's daughter to my tea room, right? The Sumadera family sure moved quickly. Did Okunogi-san sell me out? You're joking. He's my client. If he sold you out, he wouldn't have hired me, right? I guess that's true. So that's why you got off the elevator at the 3rd floor. Him having a car waiting in the underground parking lot was just too convenient. I figured Okunogi-san sold me out. Though I guess by now it's impossible to prove whether there was an ambush set up in the parking lot or not. I see, that poor president guy. Looks like you don't trust him a bit, lady. That car in the basement was mine. Huh? He was talking about you, Amakusa? I freaked when the elevator came and was empty. I wonder what would have happened by now if I'd been listening to it on their radio. So what's going on? If I'd obediently believed Okunogi-san and gone to the parking lot, there would have been no need for me to do that jump off the 3rd floor? Pretty much, yeah. Well, it turned out okay in the end. What the hell? If I hadn't suspected President Okunogi, I could have easily escaped without getting caught in a tough spot. President Okunogi might have sold me out. No, since paranoia told me it was better to assume that he sold me out. I supposed and concluded. Oh, this comes back to their whole conversation about like love and hate and trust that they had. She doesn't trust people. She assumes that people are out to get her. She's looking for people to hate her. She doesn't have that like family love experience because for her whole life, people have just been like, her relationship with people has just been transactional. especially now that she's the head. Great writing. We love it. Fucking really good writing. Fantastic writing, dare I say. Umineko, dare I say. I suppose included he sold me out. Because of my inability to believe in him, regardless of his truth. What the fuck? Okay, I just clicked out. Fuck. Okay. My truth became, he sold me out. I thought back on President Okunogi's words. Can you really call truth without certainty truth? Truth can change completely depending on whether you have love or not. In the end, perhaps truth itself doesn't exist. There are as many interpreted truths as there are people who speak of the truth. If I can't accept something like that fluid as truth, where does the truth that I really want to find exist? And is it something I'll be able to see with my eyes? Even if someone sticks the truth right there in front of me and says it's the truth, I might not be able to see it. Without love, it cannot be seen, huh? This fragment of yours is very lively. It doesn't bore me. You told me something. You commanded me to search for the truth of 12 years ago. But there's something I'm not getting. What's that? What is truth? Oh god. That's a really complicated question, Angie. Angie, that's a really freaking complicated question. There are as many truths as there are people. There are as many interpretations as there are people. I love this track. And those can be twisted by opinions and changed indefinitely. Is truth really that unfixed and vague? That's right. Truth is unfixed. It can be like a particle or like a wave. It can hold conflicting forms at the same time. Like magic or reality. You are free to believe that the cat in the box is dead or alive. But the truth is very delicate. It can change its appearance just by being observed. It's like that one science experiment with the waves, the light. You're talking about stuff like Schrodinger's cat box. Nonsense. If you open the box, you'd learn the truth. Discussion about what happens before you open it is just an armchair theory. That's right. And yet, in order to deny that abstract theory, you need to open the box. It is impossible to negate any idea about the contents of a box that cannot be opened. This is what truth is. As long as truth isn't denied, it keeps its form. That's right. As long as truth isn't observed, it keeps its form. In other words, if it isn't exposed, any reckless statement can suffice as truth. Yes, even if they contradict each other, endless ideas can exist as truth at the same time without being negated. So even something as screwed up as my family being captured by the Rokunjima witch and shut up 12 years ago for all eternity can exist as truth as long as we don't know what happened 12 years ago. This witch called Beatrice forcibly made room for endless imaginings in the Rokunjima of 12 years ago, enveloping all of it inside a cat box. Everything inside the unopenable box is truth. That's right. We don't know what happened on that island, so it becomes endless. That's assuming no one opens it up. I just have to wrench it open. But that box was closed up 12 years ago. I don't even know where it is. Even if I visit Rokunjima Just what can I learn about that? It would be so cool if she went to Rokonjima. It was all like fucking like overgrown and like fucking it looks like shit. It's like Portal. It's like going from Portal to Portal 2. Just what can I learn about what happened 12 years ago on that desolated island? Who knows? I wonder what you could learn. This is something that could only be done by the person who's able to walk around freely in the world of 1998, 12 years in the future. The final witch, Angie Beatrice. Beatrice's board game lasts 2 days, from October 4th, 1986 to the 5th. In other words, you're a piece who can move freely outside her game board. And even Beatrice cannot influence this future that lies outside the game board. If you say it like that, it sounds like I'm a pretty overpowered piece. The future of 12 years later in which you are placed certainly is distant. However, the further a piece is placed in the future, the stronger power it holds. I told you, didn't I? The truth changes its appearance when it's observed. Wait, it's that one thing in science. Hold up. It's called the observer effect, which was used in the double slit experiment. Which I'm not smart enough to explain the double slit experiment because I do not know anything about science. I only know things about history. And my brain is just like, that's my special interest. Sorry, I stay in my lane. I try to stay in my lane. Come to think of it, I heard something like that once. Even if one day, all of a sudden, a star in the constellation of Centaurus were to explode, the light from that explosion would have to cross 4.4 light years, so it would take 4.5 years to reach Earth. That's right. In other words, even if the sun in Centaurus had already died, people on Earth wouldn't be able to perceive that fact for 4.5 years. That's a really cool allegory to describe what's going on. Because no method of perception exists that is faster than the speed of light. When we learn that the sun in Centaurus has exploded, we Earth people will paint over our history of 4.5 years ago with a new truth. We will revise history with a new fact that it exploded 4.5 years ago. However, the 4.5 years period until we learn that, despite the fact that it already died, the mistaken truth that the sun of Centaurus still exists will be able to exist as truth. The truth of the future wins against the truth of the past. That's right. By itself, the Rokonjima accident gave rise to nothing but suspicion of a conspiracy involving Aunt Ava and the Yoshiramiya family assets. But later on, it was dramatized and linked to the occult. The conspiracy was painted over by the legend of the witch. Even though it was clambered over as a conspiracy at the time of the crime, later on, strange occult theories which claimed that it was the work of the witch ran rampant and began to paint over the truth of October 5th, 1986. The conspiracy theories will probably be forgotten over time, and only the more bizarre, impressive witch theory will continue to remain as superstition, eventually coloring up the theories. That's right. The false truth that exists before the light from an exploding star reaches Earth is almost like the conspiracy theory, which is a human theory. The wine bottle with the... Okay, so that is canon. Maybe I should take another look at that letter in the bottle. And how is Maria able to send that message to begin with? You know, it's really interesting. I think the bottle is the last thing you see in like the anime opening for this show, for the novel. So maybe I haven't thought as much about the wine bottle as I should have. But to me, it almost seems like an afterthought when you got all this other fucking magical closed room, red web bullshit that I'm having to, like, try my best to think through. With a letter in it that drifted ashore several years later, the message bottle painted over that theory and made things return to that cult, to the occult theory, which is a witch's theory. That's right. A witch didn't exist during 1986. The witch took control of Rokenjima because she was observed several years later by us humans of the... I have not given any thought to the bottle of wine. I haven't even thought about it since the end of episode 1. It hasn't even been on my radar. I had to look at it again eventually. I know what I'm doing after stream. Small revision is necessary. The witch could have existed even during 1986, as one of many endless possibilities that can exist. Certainly. She'd disappear if she were observed, so she curls up inside the cat box. That's what makes the message bottle so nasty. The witch tried to get out of the box. She made it so that she'd be observed, weeding out possibilities that conflicted with the witch theory. What if Ava put the bottle there? To create the suspicion of it being Beatrice. In other words, to make it impossible to negate her, she negated all possibilities other than the witch theory. What the hell? So in other words, Beatrice satisfied the devil's truth of a frontal attack? And that was part of the witch's plan from the beginning. The message bottle is information observed in the future after 1986. It cannot be observed by Beatrice or Battler. It can only be observed by Angie Beatrice. I really didn't want to investigate the message bottle. After all, reading that would be like listening to the witches say. I thought the witch's theory was just a crazy fantasy, so I thought it was nothing more than a waste of time. But Okanogi-san told me, you can't see things in 3 dimensions, only one eye. You mean that while looking at it from the viewpoint of denying witches, you must also look at it from the viewpoint of accepting witches. Okay, so maybe I should just go forward with the idea that witches are both real and not real. Like, if I'm looking at this whole story through the lens that, like, all this magic shit is real, I'm only really getting half the story. And if I'm only looking at it from this whole idea that, oh, it wasn't magic, this is all bullshit, I think I'm also losing that other half of that story. So I kind of need to have a little Hegelian moment where I bring this shit together and synthesize it into some fucking truth. Thesis and antithesis. Why is this game getting Hegelian? Not that I don't even understand Hegel. I should just shut the fuck up. I am not a philosopher. That's a correct way of thinking. The number of viewpoints is like a denominator. If you have one viewpoint, the mystery in the numerator doesn't decrease in the slightest. However, the more number of viewpoints, your number of viewpoints increases, the more the mystery begins to be divided. I understand. There was a message bottle that washed up on a neighboring island several years after the crime. Oh god, that passed onto the hands of a dilettante. I don't remember what that means. Shit, what does that word mean? person who cultivates an area of interest such as the arts without real commitment or knowledge.
Dilettante.
At least I said it right. I would definitely describe myself as a dilettante. Okay. I made an appointment with him just in case. I was able to hear Aunt Ava's say from Okonogi-san. Next up is the witch's say. Why don't I listen? The Beatrice's say. This story is like starting to pick up a little bit here. It's almost 3 o'clock. It's 2:51. I think it said. Okay, we're back on Rokenjima. And I am going to go get up for a minute and stretch. And I'll be back. I need a little break before I head into the last leg of the stream, which will probably be about 3.5 hours, 3 hours, I don't know. Usually if I find like a good place to stop in the 3-hour mark is where I'm done. So give me a moment. I'll be back. And pause. Okay, I'm back. Let's get into it. Let's jump into it. Three months left to live. Is that what you said? It was last year when you said that, right, Dr. Nanjo? Alright, we're on fourth game shit right now. We are on the fourth game. And I almost wonder if the game wants us to start really suspecting her, while there's going to be some other crazy, like, sus shit happening that we're just going to not notice because we're going to spend too much time looking at Ava. I only spoke of what I could comprehensively determine from his physical condition at the time. As a result, this year, too, it just so happens. So even though it's doubtful whether Dad will last till the end of the year, he's still totally focused on his occult research. And you still say he only has 3 months left, Doctor? Like I said, Kinzo's sons. Shouldn't you be happy our respected father is still in high spirits? Out of a sense of parental respect, each one of you is so eager to greet Father. I can see how upset you are that he's unwilling to meet with you. Hello, Eric. You missed it? We've met some new characters. We've met Kasumi and Juza and Tetsuro. So we got some new folks that we can now think about. Considering that everyone has started aiming for the inheritance while the sun is still in the sky, I can understand why Father wouldn't want to see you. You've got it wrong, Natsumi-ne-san. We just, Dad isn't immortal, and he'll die someday. We aren't telling him to die, we're just saying that he will die sooner or later. We're just talking together about how to prepare for that. And that is precisely what is so disrespectful. Stop it. Make your headache worse. Kraus told Natsui, who had risen from her chair in agitation, to sit down. Trying to smooth over the atmosphere, which had suddenly become more filled with suspicion. Hideyoshi put on a forced smile and mentioned for everyone to calm down. Natsui-san, don't misunderstand. People say you should always clean up after yourself, right? We're just talking about seeing him off. We're discussing this so we can see Father off neatly when he takes off on the journey he's eventually gonna make. That is just like you, Hideyoshi-san. Even though you're saying the same thing, you make it sound so intellectual. Yes, that's right. Unlike you, Nissan. Quit it. You aren't getting anywhere. So like we're saying, Hanaki, forget all this about the inheritance. I don't even care if Dad hits us. To make a long story short, we want to meet Dad directly and say hello. Even if he says he doesn't want to. If he's locked up in his study, we don't care if we'll have to borrow a key from Genji-san. Right, Rosa? Ooh, you think this is one of your favorite moments? Okay. Oh, well, it's not like we're forcing you. It's just, we haven't said hello to Father in such a long time. If his remaining life, what if they go in there and he's dead? That'd be fucking crazy. If his remaining life really is short, then there's a chance we might never be able to see him again. I wonder if my perception of Kinzo could somehow get worse in this game. Like, is there still room for me to hate Kinzo more than I could ever freaking fathom? Yes, you can. Because this is all his fucking fault. Like, everything is his fault. Did he really have to make a fucking Faustian bargain with some witch? If his remaining life really is short, then there's a chance we might never be able to see him again. Today might be our final opportunity to exchange words with Father. Why would she say that? She doesn't know he's gonna die tomorrow. Or does she? That's right, just like Rosa says. If he only has 3 months left, it wouldn't be odd for him to pass away any time now, right? Are you saying that despite that, we don't have the right to talk with him one last time? Regardless of circumstances, isn't that just a bit too much? If greeting Father were truly what you wish to do, I'm sure he'd happily allow you to meet with him. But Father's already heard about the disrespectful topic you hope to raise. No one would want to meet with you under those circumstances. Has Kyrie... No, Kyrie hasn't said anything yet. This scene just started. The reason you cannot meet with Father is because of your own doing and nothing else, is it not? Exactly. Oh, you think okay. Exactly. You shouldn't have to rack your brains to understand why Father doesn't want to see your faces, right? Father has seen through all of your tight financial situations. What are you talking about? I don't have a clue what you're going on about, Nissan. Did you really think I didn't know about the state you're in? Ava and the rest realized that he had seen through to their current lack of funds, and alternating between bluffing and returning to the point at hand and arguing back, they repeatedly pressed Kraus to let them meet with Kinzo. The sweet smell of the black tea Rosa had gone out of her way to buy was completely wasted. You know who else likes black tea? Beatrice. Just saying. The only thing she was glad about now was that the children weren't here for this. The fact that they'd gone to play at the beach right after lunch had been their only salvation. I'm pretty sure... Yeah, that happened in the first episode. They played at the beach. I couldn't remember if it was before or after lunch, but it was after, I think. Before the storm, regardless. Ava made as though to tackle Kraus. Tumblr. That's ancient. I never had a Tumblr. I do not have a Discord. Well, I have Discord. I do not have a Discord. Maybe I should make one. I'll think about it. I would have to call it the Pier Court, though. There'd be no choice. Oh yeah, here's Kyrie. This is it? Ava made as though to tackle Kraus, and Hideyoshi and Kyrie cut in between them, trying to calm both sides. Then Kyrie took a deep breath and spoke. I'm sorry, Kraus Nissan. I know I'm an outsider, but I wonder if you'd let me say one thing. I love Kyrie. Kyrie is God's fucking gift. I love her. She never fucking misses. I have a proposition. What is it, Kyrie-san? First, and this includes my husband as well, for many years we have belittled the efforts you've made by living with Father and taking care of him. Kyrie is the most locked in. She's the baddest fucking bitch. I love her. She's always standing on business. I would trust her with my fucking life. Isn't that right? That's, well, we've got it easy since we get to go outside, but Anaki's been babysitting Dad for decades now, and that must have been a lot of work. I'll accept that, but what's your point, Kairi? We must acknowledge that Kraus Nissan is Father's caretaker. Isn't that right? We've always feared Father and pushed the task of caring for him on the Kraus Nissan. Everyone should acknowledge his efforts. Isn't that right, Eva Nissan? And so what? I don't know why that flagged. Nissan is Father's caretaker? Don't decide things on your own, outsider. Hey now, calm down. Kairi-san, what are you talking about? Kairi, please continue. We should be more grateful towards Kraus Nissan and Natsui Nesan. That's a great name. I think Kairi is trying to show them the sun in the earth wind, in the north wind and the sun. I feel like she's trying to like get a little closer to them. Maybe she's suspecting them already of like plotting against the others. We should thank them for always taking care of Father. Kairi needs no such cowardice. It's our lack of gratitude that's to blame for these wasteful conflicts we keep having. Isn't that right, Kraus Nissan? I'm surprised. I did not think you, Kairi-san, would be able to understand our efforts, which even my true siblings have not stopped to consider. It's a natural duty for the successor to the Ushiramiya family headship. Man, take a shot every fucking time Natsui says the phrase Ushiramiya family headship, and your ass would be fucking grass. It'd be over. That's right. It's your responsibility as the successor to the headship, isn't it? This is total bait from fucking Kairi. This is total bait. It's because you take care of Father that we must acknowledge you as the successor. He's baiting Ava so good. Hey, why are you bringing this up all by yourself? You're just an outsider. Wait, Anaki. That's right. It's just like Kairi says. Because you take care of Dad. You're the successor, Anaki. It's just like you said. Oh. Rosa noticed, and then Ava did. Ava's barking demeanor towards Kairi for advancing the discussion on her own disappeared in a flash, and she instead stared at Kraus and Natsui. I bet they're gonna die in the first Twilight. Kraus and Natsui. Maybe even Jessica this time. Shit. That'd be really fucking shit if she died. I hate it when Jessica dies. I hate it when Shannon dies. I hate it when Jessica dies. Makes me sad. Natsui couldn't understand that sudden change and was slightly flustered. Kraus Nissan, if you'll accept just a few conditions, we won't ask you to let us meet with Father again until he dies. Of course, we won't demand to be present at his deathbed. We won't even mind being absent for the funeral. Oh? Where are you going with this? But I may as well listen for now. I wonder... What I'm starting to wonder is whether or not Rosa telling... I love how Ava's so misogynistic towards all the girls except Kairi because she knows Kairi is a force. She's very internalized misogyny core. She's super internalized misogyny. Oh my gosh. Where is Kairi going with this? Ava is the CEO of female misogyny. Let's hear your terms. First, the term successor to the headship refers to the caretaker of the current head, Ushirimiya Kinzo. And then? Second, the duty of the caretaker is to look after Ushirimiya Kinzo for the rest of his life. To make things simple, the caretaker's job is to care for him until his final moments. You were prepared to do that from the beginning, Kraus Nissan, so that won't cause any problems. Naturally. I have no... Like, she's playing to Kraus's big fucking ego and getting, like, Ava to, like, get all... Oh, this is so good. Like, Kraus and Natsu have big fucking egos that need to be massaged, and I think this is what Kairi's fucking doing. I'm already carrying them out. Third, on the off chance that the caretaker is neglectful of his responsibilities of supervision, he shall be deprived of his rights as a caretaker. With that sentence, all slack disappeared from Kraus's face. What does the ramifications of that mean? On the off chance that the caretaker is neglectful in his responsibilities of supervision. Yeah. Natsui alone was having trouble figuring out what it meant. Oh. Just what are these? Responsibilities of supervision that the caretaker bears. It means supervision so that father can live the rest of his life in the best possible health. I'll be more detailed than that. In the case that father dies anything other than a natural death, the caretaker will be deprived of his rights as caretaker, and his status as the successor to the headship will be lost. Oh my fucking god. That's crazy. But now this puts Kraus in a spot where he needs to protect Kinzo from the first Twilight. Well, from any Twilight. If that happens, the next highest in rank, Eva Nesan, will be selected as successor. Oh! She's gonna see if Ava takes the bait. Does Ava take the bait or not? What did you say? How can you shamelessly speak such nonsense? My, the caretaker certainly has a heavy responsibility. However, people can die in many ways. For example, senile old people sometimes die when food gets caught in their throats. I mean, I've already thought about Kinzo already being dead. So if Kinzo's already dead... her condition is already true. Oh, so she's getting... So basically she's getting Kraus to admit... Like, to make a comment about the condition of Kinzo, is my understanding. Well, she's trying to. Well, for example, senile old people sometimes die when food gets caught in their throats. Normally, this is called death by old age in its broadest sense. But with your argument, that becomes death by accident, and I bear the responsibility of supervision. This is unjustly disadvantageous to me. I had no intention of forcing such an unfair argument on you. I'm referring to the kind of thing that the caretaker could have prevented beforehand by taking good care and keeping his eyes on father. It may be the caretaker's job to carry food to father's mouth, but whether he swallows it or not is clearly outside of the caretaker's responsibility. Standing on business as usual. I would have absolutely no problems with the example you raised, Kraus Nissan. Oh. What kind of case are you referring to that might cause the caretaker to be blamed for making a blunder? For example, if he disappeared. Nanjo stands, stay winning. Plus, like, Kinzo did go missing the first night. Or the first episode. That's like a whole other thing that hasn't even been considered. Like, there's this whole thing with, like, the paper door. With the paper in the door that Ava put there, I think. Was it Ava who put the receipt in the door on episode 1, or was it Natsui? Thinking. Okay. Oh? It seems that right now, father is in firm control of himself. But dementia might begin to set in. He might wander around when you aren't looking and get into some kind of accident, or he might get lost in the forest and go missing. This is a reference to a Japanese law. Okay. Wouldn't this type of case clearly be the responsibility of the caretaker? Father's mind is perfectly healthy. There's no need to bring up dementia. One day, suddenly I saw father go into... Oh! I wonder where he's going. Kuwadorian? She's so good. I chased after him, but I couldn't find him. I called the police and searched, but after being unable to find him after 7... Oh wait, her father. Her father, okay. Item declared legally dead. Wait, what? I'm confused. Not her father? Because her father was still alive when Angie was... Oh. 7 years missing equals dead in Japanese law. She's saying that they try to cover it up by saying, oh, he's gone now. Item declared legally dead. My point is that we won't accept it if you use a story like that to treat him as dead. When father passes away, an autopsy will certainly be carried out. And we will confirm that he died of old age in the most general meaning, within the bounds of common sense. Any death... what about because he's, like, having too much fun chasing the green fairy? Because Kinzo chases the green fairy, and this really might fuck with things a little bit. Like, if he's dead in the middle of drinking the green fairy, or chasing the green fairy, then... I don't know. A death of any other cause will be held as the caretaker's responsibility. Maybe I should have tried absinthe that one time. Maybe that was my bad. Maybe I was a pussy. I should have tried absinthe. I'm a little miffed. I think my dad still has some. A death of any other cause will be held as the caretaker's responsibility. See? These are all things you have toiled away at all this time, Kraus Nissan. These aren't strange conditions or anything of the sort, right? You are mocking us, disgracefully so. I find it hard to imagine why my husband must be coerced into a rule that disgraces him in this way. Actually, I've been suspecting it since last year. Absinthe Umineko stream when? Hey guys. Welcome to Umineko. I don't mind drinking on stream, but a little absinthe might make me die. I hate liquor. I really can't tolerate liquor at all. It's too much for me. I'm beer all the way. Actually, I've been suspecting it since last year. No, everyone here probably suspects it as well. Ava Nasan and Hideyoshi Nisan. Rudolph-san and Rosa-san, too. Everyone has suspected it the whole time, but it was so frightening to imagine that no one actually said it. I just have to sip it. It's like 90% alcohol. Or at least most absinthe is like fucking really alcoholic. I would have like a little thimble of it. I would not. You're basically just drinking gasoline at that point. It's just gasoline. But it was so frightening to imagine that no one actually said it. I love gas. I see, so this is what you're trying to say. That father is already dead, and that I have been hiding it. Ah, that's right. That's one of the theories I thought of as key to solve the last mystery in the previous game. Oh, like Kinzo's already dead, and that it was Kraus and Natsui who killed all the servants? Maybe? I don't know. That's one of the theories I thought as the key to solve the last mystery in the previous game. You mean the very last bit? The mystery of who killed Dr. Nanjo? No, Angie, shut the fuck up. Wait, what? Well, plus, like, Kraus needs the capital. That's right. The witch definitely said a lot in red. She mentioned the names of all 18 people, announced that they were alive or dead, and then she claimed that there were no humans beside them. With this theory, I can weave my way through that gap. I see. So this is one of the answers that doesn't cause those two to contradict. Makes sense. See what I'm saying? You catch on pretty quick. It's nice that I don't have to explain. There's also other things, like I'm not over. There was the whole scene where in episode 1 where Natsui showed Kraus, or no, other way around. Kraus showed Natsui the existence of like the gold bars. But I think that was, and then there was the fact that there were 3 of them in the chapel in the second episode of the first Twilight. There's just a bunch of little things, unanswered questions. See what I'm saying? You catch on pretty quick. It's nice that I don't have to explain. No 19th person exists on this island. What if Kinzo's already dead and it is an 18th person? Fuck. What's going on with Kinzo? is, it's a really easy way to hide a condition of a body if you burn it. Kinzo might have not even been murdered. Maybe Kinzo just died of natural causes. Kill Kinzo. I need to think about. Okay, I'm gonna spend all night thinking about this shit. Kill George. Kill Kinzo. Kill George for being a pedophile. Kill Kinzo for being Kinzo. Kraus gets excommunicated. He cannot go to Catholic Church anymore. And yet, this trick lets us mix in an unknown new character. In other words, the names of all 18 people don't necessarily correspond to the 18 people on the island. Alright, we need a red truth about this. That's it. The witch mentioned the names of 18 people, one after another, announced whether they were alive or dead. And on top of that, she announced that there were no humans other than the 18. But not the 18 names listed, but of the 18 people. Man, this is super... I never thought of it like this. This is kind of changing things. This kind of opens up everything for me. So maybe the 1129, the 07191129, maybe that 1129 is the birthday of the person that killed the other people. Beatrice? I don't know. I would like to draw attention to the specific phrasing of the red truth that confirms the island population. Let me look at it. Let me open it real quick. Red truths. There are no more than 18 people on this island. People. 18 people in one corpse? Does a corpse count? No more than. So it's between 0 and 18, but nothing more. Yeah. Tricky. There was a single illusion in there. It wasn't guaranteed that the 18 names of people equals the 18 people on the island. When she named off all 18 people and announced who was alive and who was dead, she hid the name of culprit X and instead mixed in someone who wasn't on this island. By doing that, even though the culprit was on the island, she was able to leave him out to the list of living or dead people. The person who was mixed in wasn't actually on the island, so he didn't count towards the total number of people on the island. By this, wait, let me reread that and make sure I understand it. By then, even though the culprit counted towards the total of 18 people on the island, it was possible for his name to not be listed. The two statements in red are completely independent, so this theory creates no contradictions. I keep having to remember that we aren't necessarily trying to solve every episode's murder. I feel like we're just trying to solve the first murder. The first Rokenjima shit that went down. And solving that one is the most important thing to do. All these other ones are just like little retellings of that. To, I guess, reframe us. Aren't we trying to solve the first murder? That's when they all actually died. Let me believe in my falsehoods. I need no spoilers. I love being wrong. I also don't think very linearly, so... Remember the ending of episode 1? I mean, vaguely. The message. I don't remember what the message bottle said. I was gonna look at what it said after Scream. Maybe I should just look at it now. Fuck it. I'm gonna go through my VODs. Where are we at? Put up here, 1839. Alright. Wait, where's part 9 of my VODs? Have my VOD numbers been messed up from for many episodes? Or do I just have a VOD that's missing? I do. Oh, that might not exist anymore. Let me look at my playlist. Do I not have the VOD? Is that like Oh, wait, here it is. Oh, I uploaded them in the wrong order. Here. Where are we? Tea Party. Cited the witch. Let's see here. By the time you read this, I will probably be dead, although there may or may not be a corpse. You who have read this, please find out the truth. That's my only wish. There may or may not be a corpse. Okay. Why weren't there corpses of I think the children, they all didn't have corpses. Or at least, like, they weren't found in, like, complete conditions. Or I think maybe something about Maria's, like, skull was found or something. I just skipped ahead to the message, the bottle part, so... I don't remember quite everything from the credits of episode 1. It's... Alright, well, see you, Eric. Don't give me too many hints, though. I gotta figure it out to myself a little bit. I'll take what I can get, though. But don't feed it to me too hard. Alright, I'll see you. Well, thanks for sticking by. He's had the existence of the culprit. That name must satisfy several conditions. First of all, even though this person isn't on the island, they've got to be someone we think is on the island. It's the other servant they haven't mentioned yet, Lunan. Even though this person isn't on the island. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to trick us. It's best if this person happens to be dead. No alibi is more perfect than death. After all, at that point, the mystery was based on the fact that the crime was impossible for all 18 people. Is it something like that? Yeah, that's it. And that person was... grandfather. Right now, there's only one thing Kairi-san could be about to say. We thought grandfather was locked up in his study, saying that he didn't want to meet anyone. So what's going on with Kinzo throwing his ring out the window? That to me felt like an important detail. But there's a possibility that he's actually dead already. And that Uncle Kraus is lying when he claims that grandfather's alive. That's right. Grandfather was closed up in his room the whole time and no one saw his face. Maybe he was dead. Maybe he was already dead. And Uncle Kraus and the others were conspiring together to trying to trick everyone. Maybe they kept like his corpse in Kuadorian or something. And they kept it there and like brought it over to burn it. If Kinzo dies, the distribution of the inheritance occurs. However, if Kinzo doesn't die, no. If he dies but it isn't announced, the distribution of the inheritance won't take place. In other words, Uncle Kraus could have all of grandfather's wealth all to himself. That's right. He's got more than enough motive. He's got more than enough motive. Maybe a 19th person X doesn't exist on this island, but a person X existed, and that person was the 18th person. In other words, there were originally 17 people on this island, not 18. Then, an unknown person X snuck in and committed the crime. Or they were already there at Kuadorian, which seems more likely to me. How's that, Beato? Come on, come out. I've just solved the final, biggest mystery from last time. Alright, here we go. This is where they shatter me. Oh god. Fuck, here we go. As Battler claimed that forcefully, the crisp sound of clapping came out of nowhere. It's that type of clap. And their surroundings turned bright, becoming the usual witch's tea room, which is actually Kuadorian, because that's where the fucking killer is when all this shit's going down. Ha 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 ha. Bravo, bravo. I wish I could deny that someone incompetent as you has finally gotten a feel for it, but somehow or another you've managed to come up with a single answer. Even a lump of concrete can stop thinking. So you have finally evolved into a being with intelligence. You might say you've finally taken a step forward from the crying creature you were before, just licking my shoes and grinding your teeth. I can't believe that stupid wordplay threw me for so many loops last time. My lameness pisses even me off. Battler, I think you're just a bottom, buddy. I don't know how to put it. I think you're just a bottom. Alright, Beato, repeat it. If you could announce that the 18 people on this island included grandfather, just try and do it. Yeah, you can. Because he was already dead. This is the end of your deception! Well, now, what have we here? Shall I slice that in two with my red truth? No, no, it might also be good to hold back for now and let you get all excited. Battler's #1 bottom. If I'm going to push you off a cliff anyway, it would be interesting to lure you to a higher place first. As Beato sneered obnoxiously, she looked like she was searching for an expression that would tick me off even more. As though she were saying that the answer I'd reached was impossibly ridiculous. Why does Beatrice want me to think this? Why does she want me to think this way for now? What is she setting me up for? Compared to me, as annoyed as I was with the witch's attitude, Gretel had a blank and composed expression on her face. Almost as though she'd expected the witch to act that way. I see. Just like how Battler learned to groan, so does the witch. What's wrong, Beato? Don't act so tough. I asked if you can repeat it. Answer! Stop it, Battler. The witch won't answer so easily. She won't do it until she thinks it'll benefit her. What? What do you mean? You've been toyed with by this red truth in the games up until now, so the witch has used it many times. But now the situation is different. You're trying to draw the red truth out of her, and are instead using it as your weapon. In this situation, there's no way the witch will keep firing off the red without reason. Right? Right? Gretel, or whoever you are. It seems your mind is quite sharp, unlike Battler's. What a fearsome enemy I've welcomed in. That is correct. When Battler hopes I'll use the red truth, do I have any responsibility to do so? No. I don't even have a crumb from that croissant you ate this morning's worth of responsibility to please you. You bastard. Yes, yes, yes. That's the face. I started playing with the red truth just because I wanted to see that face. I have no reason to play around if it won't give me a chance to see you look like that. You just don't like the losing, right? Just saying whatever you can to trick me because you can't. It's too much of it. Won't work. Don't be so full of yourself. An answer like that could be cut to pieces without any effort. But I won't go out of my way to speak in red. I won't say it because that's what you're asking me to do. Do you know why? You just said it. You want to push him off the sweetest spot. This ill-natured witch is saying she won't use the red anymore because that's what you want. In other words, she won't go along with this game of telling her to repeat things anymore. Exactly, exactly. Unlike Battler, everything goes quickly with this girl, so no need for explanations. I will say what I please with the red truth at the time that I desire. That's right. That's it. Basically, the witch is right to use the red truth as she pleases. She doesn't have to use it at whatever time the human side desires. But even that depends on the situation. The situation? What do you mean? The witch has no responsibility to respond when you tell her to repeat something. But it does become her responsibility if and only if your claim can destroy the witch theory. After all, in this trial court without a judge, that witch is not refuted to become the truth. Just like how the witch theory made by the witch will instantly become truth if you collapse and stop thinking, then since she doesn't have a counter argument for my guess, that means it's right? It's right that the culprit is the mysterious 18th person X and grandfather is already dead? At least until the witch argues back. Truth always loses to new truths farther in the future. The tricky part is even the timing of the counter argument. The tricky part is that even the timing of the counter argument is up to the witch. In other words, maybe your reasoning was just now was correct, or maybe the witch is refraining from arguing back even though you're wrong. Or the witch may be ignoring it because it doesn't shake the basis of the witch theory in the first place. But either way, we can't tell the difference at the current time. Okay, I only ever assume she does it because she just has some bullshit she's gonna drop on me and be like, "Ah, fuck you, Battler." Especially after that whole episode 3 Bea trick freaking nightmare. I really don't trust her. Like, fundamentally. Is that more or less it? Damn you, Lady Barncastle, for throwing in such a troublesome piece. Thanks to that, I'm losing all my lines. Oh, the witch has learned that she can respond to your demands to repeat phrases at a later time. Maybe you could even call it a delayed move. She's messing with me. So even if I announce some mistaken reasoning, there's a possibility that Beato will intentionally let me flounder about without denying that guess. And at the very end, when I propose an even more massive line of reasoning, she can cut it off at the base and spin everything around. A single piece of reasoning becomes a bridge to the next piece. By demanding that she repeats lines, I've been able to strengthen my position and advance bit by bit. But since that bastard Beato leaned this strange delay tactic, I can no longer confirm or deny my reasoning. This is like finally finding a staff that'll let me search around in the darkness only to lose it right away. I'm just stuck now, right? Hey, Battler, if you make a despairing face like that, I won't be able to stop drooling, you see. From the beginning, that staff was nothing more than something I gave you because you were so worthless. All this means is that you can finally challenge me without a handicap, right? But that alone doesn't change the fact that demanding that you repeat things is one of Battler's ways to fight back. As I already said, as long as something's fatal, as long as it's something fatal that'll destroy the witch theory, that witch is obligated to argue back and therefore to speak with the red truth. While the timing of that counter argument is up to the witch, it must be performed eventually. Isn't that right? That may be so. If I cannot deny the tricks done by humans theory Battler laid out by the time the game ends, Battler will use that as a reason to deny me, and will be possible for him to proclaim his victory. So, should we view this as a restriction on the witch's side? That the trick theory laid out by the human side. In other words, what he tells you to repeat must be countered during the game, during the episode. Wait, let me reread that. That is so. Battler's goal is to show that he can explain the entire pleasant game I have laid out on this island with humans and deny me. If Battler succeeds in that time, he will become the victor of this game. Let me confirm the rules. Should we view the time the game ends as referring to 2400 on October 5th, 1986, going by the time of Rokonjima in the game? I have no problems with that. Oh wait, I read it in the wrong voice. At the time that game ends, the human side must state a theory using tricks for all the mysteries. And if the witch side cannot argue back, the human side can proclaim its victory. Does that work? Let us be more specific. When the game ends, the witch side will be given a chance to argue back. Let's decide on an amount of time. 1 minute. If you cannot carry out your counter-argument within 1 minute, victory will be proclaimed. Then allow me to impose the same rule on you. At the time the game ends, the human side will be granted 1 minute to counter the mysteries it has been given. If even a single mystery has not been countered within that time, it becomes the witch's victory, and that game is over. It would be such a killjoy to have the game stopped for a lengthy consideration, right? You asshole. Doing things along without me. I more or less get what's going on. Even if the lines I demand that you repeat aren't countered instantly, they've got to be countered eventually. Yes, that's right. And that must happen before 1 minute on October 6th. But be careful. She only has to cut up one of the things you tell her to repeat. You can't proclaim your victory unless you solve all the puzzles. Just as I can use the red. From now on, I will allow you to use the blue, battler. Blue truths. Oh, they're gonna start like fighting. It's gonna be like swing, swing, swing. It's gonna be so good. They're gonna be like swinging at each other with red and blue. It's gonna be so freaking cute. I'm gonna ship them so hard when they do it. I'm predicting this shit. It's gonna be like swing, swing. And it'll be so fucking good. I can't wait. But why is it being called blue? Is it called Blue Truths just dropped? But I more or less get what's going on. When explaining my magical murders with human tricks, you may state your claims in blue. I am responsible for countering your blue with the red by the end of the game. Blue? It's all talk in blue when I tell you to repeat things? Not quite. When you told me to repeat lines, you were able to do it for any trivial thing. But the blue is a little more restrictive. Unless it by itself denies witches, it will not be valid. Can I get like an example? It's starting to get confusing, but it's more or less something like this. For example, let's take one of the riddles in the past where I asked her to repeat something. The actual number of master keys is 5. That had been to confirm that there were really 5 master keys when she claimed there were no more than 5. But since that by itself wouldn't deny witches, I can't say it in blue. So in order to speak in blue, blue. Fucking Boris Johnson. I need to say something like this. The actual... Okay, so it needs to be accusatory. The actual number of master keys was greater than 5. Or in the case of this, it's going to be Hinzo is already dead. The culprit entered or exited the room with that extra key. Only then would the witch, who claimed that this was a closed room murder made with magic, be responsible for making a counter argument. In other words, I can't deny that she repeats something that merely confirms the premise of my reasoning. That'll probably be a significant disadvantage for me. Crap. It's enough to make the red Beato use a toy with me up until now look extremely merciful. Damn it. So even I create a theory for a particular closed room and speak it in blue. If Beato denies it, the very, very end. I won't even have time to create my next theory. Damn, Battler's gonna have to have a whole fucking thesis ready for this shit. This rule's awful, horribly bad for me. Are you gonna surrender before the fight begins again? Calm down. No one said you could only use the blue once for each mystery. Do you know what that means? No. What does it mean? In the pitiful way you've been fighting up until now, you've made a single theory, glanced at the witch's complexion, and if that one didn't work, then you'd start making another theory. You won't corner a witch like that. Then how should I fight? Man, she's kind of his fucking sensei right now. Battler becomes the next witch. What the fuck? That'd be crazy. She is the Virgilia to his Beato. Battler is Beatrice. I've ascended theories tonight. That'd be fucking absolutely horrendous. No, I take it back. I'm not even ready for that. I'm not ready for Battler as Beatrice. That shit's being fridged. It's never come. It's like at the end of Indiana Jones where they're fucking putting that shit in the vault. That shit has entered the vault. It's never leaving. That's a terrible theory. I have another Discord ping. This one's actually for me? Oh, much my friend. Okay. You don't mean... Yeah, that's right. You don't attack her riddles with a point. You assault them with a wall. You said so yourself in an earlier game. The force of your reasoning should be like that. Assault with a wall. That's right. Oh, that way that chord has the freaking Evangelion-ass sound. That's right, I said so earlier myself earlier. Guessing and trying to expose the mystery is like trying to shoot a distant target with an arrow. Until now, I've just been shooting off arrow after arrow, asking the witch if I scored a hit, and then preparing my bow again once I'm told I've missed. There's no way I'll hit at that rate. Bullets might be better examples than arrows. If you take one shot after another at a distant target with a handgun, you probably won't hit it easily. So how can you hit it? If a handgun doesn't work, use a shotgun! Instead of a single bullet, beat her down with a shot comprised of countless projectiles at once. Shot scatters, so it impacts a wide area. That makes it optimal for shooting small, fast targets like birds. That's right, there's no rule that says I have to guess like a pistol shooting off one at a time. Making a single theory and just hoping that it hits is no better than stopping your own thinking. Blast away with massive numbers of bullets, of guesses, and make them impact like a wall so that one of them hitting the target is enough. Blue, huh? I get it. If your red truth is a razor-sharp katana, then my blue is a shotgun. No, a machine gun whose firepower will turn the witch into honeycomb. I see. So it's an awkward gun that fires many shots. That sort of crude analogy is just like you. The climax of a detective novel is always the same. The famous detective gathers all the suspects at once and displays a single trail of logic that works splendidly. Like, I really like the Knives Out movies. They're super fucking good. It's like that. Almost like William Tell spectacularly shooting an arrow through an apple with a single arrow. That's why I mistakenly took that to be a virtue. It probably would be splendid if I could shoot through the truth with a single guess. But that isn't realistic. Oh, it's like the Cheester sisters with their arrow. But that isn't realistic. Look at real wars. Do they really have everyone pull long guns out of the trench, aim really well, and take shots at each other one at a time? They don't, right? They fire rapidly. They fire all over the place. They pin down the enemy with a barrage. Reasoning is the same way. Because of that weird virtue, I've been stuck thinking it's better to take one line of reasoning at a time. We humans can fire off countless guesses and possibilities. The bullet is the power of imagination. Suspension of thought is a clogged barrel. The pathetic way I've been reasoning up until now is like a pea shooter. I've been so lame, weakly firing off shots, getting them denied and read, and then taking the next bullet and reloading. My blue truth, which claims that humans and tricks are what's real, will overpower its target. The illusion told by the witch with its firepower and the force of what I can imagine. This is my Ushiramiya Battlers fighting. He's so fucking corny. I love him. He is such a bottom. He's such a corny ass fucking bottom. It's crazy. Thanks to you, I figured out my true fighting style. Thanks, Gretel. You're welcome. Makes you think of how pathetic I was before. Do I really trust Angie? Do I trust Angie? I'm gonna have neutral trust of Angie, maybe. Maybe I should trust her. I don't know. I'm like 80% trustworthy of her, but I'm gonna have like I'm gonna keep a little possibility in my brain that this is all still some Beatrice bullshit. But then why would she break the whole Tea Party thing at the end? Or not the whole Tea Party thing, but the whole coronation at the end. You know what? Yeah, 80%, 90%, 90%. This is all cool and totally fine. I've had a handicap until now. I'll acknowledge that. New rule understood. I have my own way of fighting. I'll show you it. That willpower is good. I like it. Then try using it right away, this blue truth of yours. Yeah, I'll use it. With this blue truth, I'll break apart your witch theory, which states that only a witch culprit was possible because everyone had alibis. This is my truth. This is so fucking corny. I love it. Ushiramiya Kinzo is already dead. I just did the fucking same ass point. Therefore, the true number of people on the island is 17. By adding an unknown person X to that, it becomes 18 people. By supposing that this person X, he's getting smarter. He's actually like learning how to make an argument. Like he's not just being like, oh, it was this. No, that doesn't work. Oh, it was this. Now it's like, this is fucking great fiction right now. It's unfucking believable. Battler's fucking growing as a character. He's fucking becoming badass. Kyrie be so fucking proud of him right now. Oh, it's so fucking good. By supposing that this person X exists, the crime will be possible even if all 17 people have alibis. In short, if you keep preventing us from meeting with Father, we will have to accept the following theory. Simply put, Father is already dead. But you're hiding that because you don't want the inheritance to be distributed. That was like my favorite fucking dialogue of the night. Like maybe one of my favorites in like a long time. That was so fucking good. Ridiculous. That that is correct. This is worse than ridiculous. I have never heard such an insult. It'd even be possible for us to check by force whether he's alive or dead, with the police there to witness it. Isn't that right, Eva Ne-san? Yes. That's right, Nissan. There are all sorts of ways we could set you up. We could easily arrange for a situation where you'd have to hold a meeting with Father under supervision of a third party. Still, I think that would bring a lot of shame to the Yoshiramiya family. That's why I'm making this proposal. Here we have the responsibilities and duties of a caretaker, and a penalty in the worst case scenario. If you consent to those terms, we'll be able to refrain from doing something like dragging Father outside. Yeah, that's right, Aniki. Didn't you just say it yourself? You're carrying out your natural duties as Dad's caretaker. Kyrie's condition shouldn't be anything to worry about, right? Why this overreaction? Are you really that worried because having a position as a successor dragged out from under you if Dad dies or something other than a natural death? Or else what? Do you have some reason to think Father might die? I think this is like a canon conversation. I definitely think this is fucking canon. This shit feels real. Do you have some other reason to think that Father might die something other than a natural death? How could I? I see now. I too understand how Father feels. Well, maybe Natsui didn't know, and maybe that's why he showed her the gold. I do want to think this is like a super fucking canon conversation. How pitiful his later years have been for him, unable to die as he pleases. Yes, his later years truly have been pitiful. The thought that these later years are already something of the past is exactly what we're suspecting. You could completely clear this suspicion away by just letting us meet with Father. So even after being humiliated by us this much, you still won't allow us to meet with him, Kraus Nissan? Father is probably already dead. The corpse may have been disposed of in absolute secrecy. And if after taking all the wealth for yourself as Father's agent, you'll make it seem that he disappeared until 7 years pass, making Father a corpseless member of the deceased. I'm sorry, but please don't take it badly, okay? She's kicking ass. It's insane. I'm just playing detective here. How rude can one be? You have no right to stay in this mansion. Leave immediately. I won't permit you to cross the threshold of this house again. It worked last year, but you've used up your luck if you thought it'd work this year too. Father's in a bad mood, so he can't meet with us. That was plenty suspicious last year, yet you're doing it again. If you really wanted to fake being Father's agent and grab up all his assets, you should have done it a little more speedily, making him disappear without waiting for today's family conference. You really are naive, Kraus Onizama. I have no idea what you are. However, If it is a fact that Father's in a bad mood, and you're preventing us from meeting with him as a part of your responsibilities as his caretaker, then it's a very wonderful thing you're doing. In that case, if you just accept our conditions, everything will be settled here and now. After all, you care so greatly for Father Kraus Nissan. I fucking love Kyrie. I could give her a big fucking smooch right now. There's no way Father will die in a manner that leads to trouble during the autopsy. No wonder why her fucking sister's jealous of her. This is a bad fucking bitch. She's the baddest, fucking dirtiest fighter. She's fucking gruesome. I fucking loved Kyrie. No wonder why fucking Rudolph fucking put a ring on it. I fucking get it. This bitch is fucking badass. She literally has totally fucking cornered Kraus. This is such good writing. Why the fuck is this character so good? After all, Father hates hospitals, so he'll pass away in his study, right? An autopsy will certainly be carried out no matter what happens. The only way to kill him without an autopsy would be for him to disappear. Enough, Kairi-san. I think you've bullied Nissan enough. Ava rebuked Kairi in a sickening kind voice. Considering the situation, that was impossible. Fuck. This game is so tricky. Which is why it was sickening. I'm sure Nissan has his own difficulties to worry about, as well as his pride. True, Nissan might consider that one of his natural duties, but if you force him to put it on paper and assign penalties, I could hardly blame him for getting upset. Don't you agree, Rosa? I feel like Ava has her own fucking game here. Maybe these fuckers just all killed each other. Fuck. Yes, that's right. She might have made light of Kraus Nissan's pride as the eldest son a little too much. I'd feel bad for him if we were to force him to sign a statement regarding the duties of a caretaker as Kairi-san has laid them out. That's right. What? Stop. You're doing a good job, Aniki. Maybe that's why Rudolph thought he was dead on the first. He might die in the first episode. Fuck. That would explain it. If this scene is canon, this scene is canon. Maybe canon's listening and that's what makes it canon. That's awful. Taking that into account, we might consider avoiding all that about signing strange papers and worst case penalties, and leave everything to you. People. Not just Ava, but Rudolph and Rosa as well, with unnerving smiles on their faces as though they'd planned this beforehand, began closing in on Kraus. They now understood perfectly how Kyrie had cornered Kraus and exactly where was prepared to compromise. We were talking about a signed statement regarding the responsibilities of the caretaker, but even without signing such a thing, you can make it so we'll never demand a meeting with Father again. If you can prove witness his father's caretaker with a form of guarantee other than a signed statement, that is. Are you telling me to pay security money? Hilarious. The security money will be paid to Ava-san, Rudolph-san, and Rosa-san 3 billion yen each. As a deposit, you will transfer 10% of that, 300 million yen, before the year is out. $9 billion? I don't have that kind of money. After father passes away, you should be able to work it out. We've managed to investigate at least that far. You should be able to handle the deposit of 900 million yen in your current financial situation. And it should be possible for you to borrow it from father. There's no need for obvious charades anymore. How unpleasant. Truly unpleasant. It is at that. Even just the discussion of father's inheritance was far too disrespectful. Father is already dead. My husband is hiding that and keeping all of the money for himself. I have had enough of this. None of you are qualified to bear the name Ushiramiya any longer. Calm down now, Natsui-san. We've all said all we need to. Why don't we all leave it at that for now? This shit is so fucking crazy. This is happening all of a sudden and on a massive scale. She has to have killed Kinzo. Hi, Tickler. But she has like intense Catholic guilt about it. That's like the thing. She has intense Catholic guilt and she feels so badly about having killed this man. It might even be getting agitated ourselves. Why don't we take a break for a while and cool our heads? Kraus-Nissan probably needs a little time himself. Right, Kraus-Nissan? Time? Why would I need something like that? Don't worry. We aren't thinking of anything shady. We're just so eager to see that father. We've started grumbling a bit. And Kraus-Nissan, I know real well you're dying to get back at us for the things we've said. If you are willing to go so far, you just need to let us meet with him, right? Isn't that right? You just got a bit stubborn. And it felt awkward to say you'd let us see him after saying we couldn't all those times. I love Hideyoshi. He's such a cool guy. Yeah, he's always just a let's turn the volume down a little bit type of guys. He's like, let's turn down the volume. That's always him. He's like such a mediator. He's like a total micromanager, I guess. Isn't that it? Right? It certainly does seem that my husband has lost his composure slightly, just like the rest of you have. Yeah, it'd be a shame if he were to, like, die in the shower. Or, like, die eating candy. Or die mysteriously with a gun in the middle of the not the parlor, I think it was by the staircase. We were only refusing stubbornly out of respect for father's desire not to meet with everyone. Indeed, that's right. It was turning into another sibling fight like the old days. I started feeling stubborn as well. Oh, fishy aroma. I gotta dance. Alright, well, thanks for stopping by. Let's cool our heads. I understand how much you all want to meet with Father. I'll pass it on to him. I'll find some way to convince Father to meet with you. Will that do? Yeah. I think it'd be okay to give Kraus Nissan some time to persuade Father. Yep. We're counting on you, Aniki. Please persuade him to meet with us. After all, you're Dad's caretaker. And as for persuading him, let's set a limit onto it sometime tonight, okay? When tomorrow comes, we'll confirm Father's well-being, even if we have to break the door, down the door to his study. You have no problems with that, I take it, Nissan. Do as you like. I see. It seems even the time I've been given to persuade him is short. Let us go, Natsui. We shall ask him to join us for dinner at least. Right! I fucking love doing her voice. It's such a treat. I think she was like one of the first fucking voices I actually did. She's God's gift. I love her. She's such an asshole. She's not bad. She's like a wine mom. Kraus left the parlor with Natsui. On their footsteps, reading is hard. Once their footsteps disappeared, Hideyoshi took a deep breath, smirking and flopping onto the sofa. I guess we just kicked their asses. Kairi-san, you're a frightening person. Sorry for speaking out of turn. I apologize. No, you didn't corner him like we'd originally planned. In the end, this was even better. Just like always, I've got to bow my head to you. But can he really prepare 900 million? I believe we estimated that 750 million would be the most Kraus Nissan could afford with his current financial situation. Isn't 900 million gouging him too much? If he can't do it, that's fine too. If we do something like lowering it to 750 million so Kraus Nissan can save face, it'll look like we're compromising. And it'll be easier to settle, right? And if it really does come out with 900 million, that's even better. Nissan is probably having a strategy meeting with Natsui about now. It really will be interesting to see what kind of twisted logic our proud Nissan comes up with as an excuse. Convince Father. There's no way he can. There's no way to convince someone who isn't even there. Ooh. I think here's a good place to stop for today. This has been such a fucking fun stream. Yeah, see you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. And I am actually, I probably won't be back till a little later because I have to put my car out. I have to get my car inspected, and that's gonna be something I gotta fucking do, and I gotta get my mom's car for a while, but not a big deal. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you later. Bye. I am unk as fuck.